You know that he's mentally ill? That guy's mentally ill. Yeah, yes, he's ill. I just walk away. He's mentally ill because of the way he behaves. And I wonder why people sit and listen to this young man. It's crazy.
And we only come like in a Jamaica. I don't know politics. If you take up, alright, you see, Mama Joy, you
Yes,
have
dear.
nobody around you. You have nobody around, just tell them so. Tonight, them figure live and say them are support the PMP. And you see how that live. You can guarantee, just put up on PMP flag or somewhere, MP or so. And I guarantee you, say before night that you get over 200 people on the live.
I mean, they're I think they're nuisance to me.
Because
Last night was one of the worst nights I had with them.
they're looking at something for hold on upon, and they want the narrative for coming up for them people. So they got me so a youth, him too not have much sense neither. Time say him no, him a burn out 100 and then him say him no love a politician. When me look at Cooley, all of them depend in life. I mean, I saw them grow and them just want to control every life will come up. So they will listen to anybody or stop at anything.
If you put a mongrel dog up there in the orange and my back and listen to him for your life.
The man, them are going to come on and agree with everything what you say. Remember, I said, you did have one guy, now, even though him not a Philippine friend, but him not have much sense neither. But him name Real Talk. Remember, so a Real Talk, then he cuss Ken, you know, he get, and when him start, when we go over there, you know, when Philippine over there, it full. With that good evening, how can I help you out? When we go over there, you remember Ken? And then they control the live. And for Real Talk, now entertain them answer. If the bother go back. But we get to understand so Real Talk not much sense. We don't want to associate with it. Not because you say you support the party. If you don't have no sense, we don't want to associate with it.
Yeah, you have to know you're a black sector. You can't make people come take over and say them all for foolishness.
Yeah. And you can't to give them the highlight and then when you look then turn.
No, that's it.
So that's why me not try to go build up no. To me like a follower them. Me don't want to build up no. Oh, Plank, you say I come down, right?
If I'm on God, man, I'll wait, Chavi and Ken. And
I work can girls man in so maybe let me remove them like when you want to come back, you come back.
yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man,
Well,
Chavi.
you look at him, we get busy, you know, so maybe that's why.
All right, so the Integrity Commission went to Parliament, right? And they said something that they are not accountable to Parliament. They are accountable to the judge, to the courts. But that's what I said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to the Integrity Commission Act, which governs the process and the operation of the Integrity Commission. And it reads, the commission shall, which is final, and commission means Integrity Commission. So it says, the commission shall, subject to section 34.3 and 36.4, be ultimately responsible and accountable to Parliament for all matters relating to the function of the commissioners and the monitoring and report to Parliament on the operation and effectiveness of the provision of this Act. Who is the Integrity Commission accountable to?
So everybody knows your Parliament, man. Parliament is
Then how the chairman come and say what him say. And you have Jamaicans out there who actually believe this nonsense.
But at one point, when a man never say any of his show, in just show because I respect and
That man is too cocky to me, but that little cocky old man.
Nonsense. Because they are accountable to Parliament. If Parliament send for them, they must name have to come.
Yeah. The parliamentary oversight coming where govern them, so what am I chat about?
Okay. Me just want to put that out there. I need to make a video. I just wanted
yes.
the affirmation. Alright, cool. Later, guys.
Well, I don't know. The man that for real, the man just look like he's a boss.
Yeah, the
Like
man
him the
so
tech
cocky,
talk.
buddy. He's like, yo.
Oh, that's how a man move.
Yeah, the man look like I'm like I courthouse in there, my judge him around.
That time I judge, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't understand how the man and shut him up.
Oh, if I'm me, I watch him, the kind of, you see, if I'm warming, me know say, God,
Nah, tell
things
them, man.
like them, man, if I'm
Yeah, can't.
warming, I did them, me just turn off it, you know.
You can't make the man and come to your house and talk to you, they don't care hear it.
Yeah, I say, man just full of himself. The man just full of himself, like, oh, I'm my boss, nobody can bad me up here, so.
I say,
And,
you know, no malice, but you bring your own water.
yeah, the man just, and when I look on him, I said, them man, they up at top, I go out. No, sir.
Yeah, man, the whole man if you go sit on one side now.
When if this a government when I say when this a government get a third term, then you need to do some housekeeping.
Yeah, I tell you.
And that's why man get 53 seat.
Yeah, we put on some rules, man. Man, I know say, what I feel like. I taxpayer pay, you know. And I pay, you know, to come be cocky and act like, you know, above the law.
But what's so big about the Prime Minister? That's big about the Prime Minister thing. That too much here and we still not come to a conclusion. We still not settle as a nation and never get much million. If they can't manage it,
It's a
why them never say it long time? You can't come and say it when you already send a report and everything out there in the public. And then the man say him not do nothing, him on go send email and I collect how much million. No, it's not.
It's a way I say.
The man basically say him not do nothing, you know, brother. I just send off, you know, he come to him and he send off.
You see, that's
And yet, tell that man I collect how much money. And them bed job them would have want. Nobody can give me it.
look at when I get more PR, the Prime Minister to get to do nothing.
They send an email. But I would have want that job very right now.
I tell you.
I would have sent email, you see. I would have sent the wrong person.
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news.
You don't have a breaking news. You have your breaking news channel broke down. May I like to take your name for you?
Breaking news, guys, breaking news. But just before I hear the breaking news, me I ask you please to go over to Mama Joy page and subscribe. I'm like, and give a follow, please. I'm going to a minute to go over Mr. Mama Joy page and give her a follow.
Not
No, go over Mama Joy page and give her a follow. Come back. I tell them the breaking news. No, go over Mama Joy page and give her a follow. And come back for the breaking news.
Guys,
I'll be here waiting, I don't know.
the internet never good enough. You're not in.
Who not hear nothing politics and sports?
Nathaniel, the internet always get trouble.
Okay. Mine was giving trouble from last week. I got it back last
No,
night.
man, right through Nathaniel. And Nathaniel, this man, breaking news. What about Nathaniel?
I tell you that Ellis.
They want to go on easy, no father.
That's what I said, man.
Guys, you know, go over Mama Jai, go give her a powder there. And you come back and tell them the breaking news.
On the news, man.
But you're a joker. What kind of news? You know the news.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Guys, I want to watch TV.
You know, say, Mama Joy, oh, tired, see me turn it down. I'm a PNP husband turn it up, me turn it down.
I pay for us, but
I got to go on there.
oh, no, man. Oh, you
He
man.
can't vote. He can't vote.
Why?
Convert him this
Why is he
time.
vote? He have
Oh,
listen,
excellent,
he have one
excellent.
child. Listen, he have one child and she don't have no pitney yet. Me have 3 and the 2 of them have give me 5 grand pitney. Me have to think about my grandchildren's future. So if he don't make the decision for go vote to bring back them the people that will hold on my grand pitney them, it don't make sense me and him there. That was
The
that.
election 2016, they don't want family, you know, man. The man a storm. Storm PAP and the wife, my JLP. You know what them do? And drunk me there. They said they frost about it, could have go vote, the man begs the commotion, he marriage mash up.
Listen, me and my husband together since 2006 and he has never voted.
That's okay.
God.
Man,
Listen, he saying stop vote because of grandparents and the Michael Manley syndrome. Listen, my father was a PNP, you know. Maybe me tell you already, my father a PNP, my sister who is my heartbeat, she's PNP. But guess what now? Her husband a labor writer. So election time, and me and the husband on phone, and she and my husband on phone. I mean, look for the green G string put on and cannot touch me. My bathroom full of green. Me serious. Sometimes I'm fully bath and say, babes, come we go in my bath here. No, me know why you join me in the labor right hole. What? My bathroom green. Every currently buy if you have green in it. Me not run through it, me serious.
but I have an understandable though.
He's supposed to understand. You know, I know Grand Pitney and me are 5 and they are very brilliant. So listen, I'll tell you something.
What you say, Q? You to Q?
Let me
Q,
tell
you have to tell me how that going on.
Let me tell you something.
Q, you follow Mama yet.
I have 2 sons, you see?
No, man, no follow Mama Jai, man, and bless her up, make she can't go live. When I hear that, no follow Mama Jai, make she can't go live.
Nathaniel, make Mama Jai.
No follow her up in the people, I want to see her go live para morning.
Oh,
You don't follow her up, no do the right thing.
Alright.
Listen,
Yeah, man,
I have 2 sons and they're adults. One is a detective, one is a construction worker. And they give me 5 grandchildren. When they were in high school, I under PJ Patterson. I said, "True Jai, a labor right." There was something called cashier where I would pay half of one school fee and half of one. I did not get that because me, a labor right, I stand up for what I stand up for. The first scholarship me get are from Clive Mullins. Me in a Ed Bartlett constituency. And because so much people in here needed help, I went to Dr. Chang because he works where he has a supermarket. His wife runs a supermarket at the hotel that I work. So it's a commissary. So him and my friend, he helped me with my daughter to go to college. And she got her bachelor's. She's now a teacher. So guess what? And she have backed me 100% all with me TikTok. Me ain't know nothing about TikTok. I have 57. Me a old man.
You're a young man. What you talking about? 50?
I'm old.
So
I'm old.
they are 61. How you talk about?
Who are 61?
Me?
You?
Yeah.
Listen.
Me are 68.
No, you're not reading. You're not reading.
Stop it, Marcia.
Marcia, you're in your 40s. Yeah,
Marcia, you're far from 68.
Turn it around.
Maybe 58.
I say a young bud, man.
Turn it
no,
around.
Marcia, they're not 58. Yeah, that, oh.
Turn it around.
You want to turn it around 38.
You're gonna get 84
No.
or 85. Oh my God.
Rusty?
Rusty, you wake up?
Boy, me say so sitting and go on over
Look
one
like you
life,
still
yeah.
want to sleep, you know.
So it now look like say a film program.
Philippines get me away from.
Because remember I'm one for a program to like
Philippines get me away from. You can run.
do
So you never come on today?
Yeah, today.
Well, I want that petal.
Where you say politics?
I want that.
That sound like caution.
Me say, area.
When me a burn out your cross my maggot pussy clad. Shell taps and bacon for maggot. Straight up from the boat from the blue. Burn out, man. Blood.
we have to say Gaza green card, yeah.
Yeah, man.
You telling good to Gaza?
Yo. Mikey, yo. Mikey, yes. Yeah, come on. It's becoming a magazine. Yeah. I was saying, anybody with the caution sign a problem. Me say,
No, if you want to fashion sign over the still now.
well, in tell me say in fuck batty on street life. In name Gay Brian with a D.
Gay Brian.
Gay Brian with a D.
Sorry, politics. Sorry. But war. Me say,
Again.
I
But
don't
you
know
are a
how
fight.
I troll and bug up on the live there a while ago. I nearly
My God. What that?
I scream record.
I want that petal.
Scream record.
me say, I nearly dead, I nearly failed.
What's that?
Alright, that's
You're
it.
not a
Infected with disease.
Yes, guys. Mighty God. Eh? They will go buy 2 iron brief, put on.
Me say, me
So what am I
They will
quarrel
go
over?
buy 2 iron brief, put on one side.
What am I quarrel over, Batty?
I'm going to start with them.
me say, Tory,
That look serious.
Rusty, me have one screen record in the over in my call of any on the live today, you know. But me I tell you, say Mike, you give my Robin, you see? Jesus.
I want this someone that come from a contact me on.
Are you in saying one breed, Marcia? You don't
come
need
contact
people
me
on
on.
the bed. I
Hello.
want to breed your Marcia.
What's wrong with him?
We need to go on the bed.
Man, go about your business and go on pan Deadwood Boulevard. Move on. I didn't say that, Rusty. I never said that.
Marcia, me I wonder when did that talking and say, I want to go real.
Exactly. What's wrong with them people here?
Yeah, I get too bright though. Yeah, myself I got talking personal. Look up on the library.
Watch ya. Move for yes, man. Excuse me.
I munchieb for black.
Oh, really? Our PNP come over here.
Man like this look like rape and you don't know a woman from nowhere. You don't talk to a woman.
Man, you can't trust them. You have to seek them out and find out how and find out if man are raper.
Yeah, man, for real, not done here.
Live them, Douglas, Joseph, and I put
Yeah, man, you need to run an investigation for them.
come on, last night I come and tell Munchie about him want whatever not to war to.
You see that pervert and a raper that.
Yeah, man, I rape her.
I agree for that.
We need to block him off our live them.
Yeah, man. Over J. Brian live, you want you.
Go on over there, go make Mike natural with you.
I'm going to call up my name, sir. Why am I call up my name?
Who they call your name?
It's a third time from morning. 2 call me get from morning, so if you go over caution live, I'm going to call up my name.
No caution. Are the barracuda call up your name?
What call up my name for? Why am I now? Like brown.
But he can't put up your picture because you're always shirtless and TikTok will go block him.
Why do you want to put on my picture?
He love your body. He love your body. He love what you see.
I want your chest spy out.
Rusty, put on a shirt.
But look how, come on, we didn't even talk about fin sack, you know.
The fin sack, the fin sack.
My own business.
Put on a shirt. Put on a green shirt.
Taking the personal responsibility, they should have been a little bit more sensible to the fact that many of these interest rates and loans they were taking on, they simply could not service.
Yeah, but then I think, personally, I think that bankers owe a duty to persons to advise them properly also. Because remember, a lot of these people, we're coming from a situation where a lot of these business people were not people who were highly educated. They really didn't understand it, and I think that, the banking community did owe them a duty, to tell them it didn't happen. Banks also made some bad decisions because, NCB, for example, went into oranges, and the Eagle Bar Hotel, there were no capital controls, which is why the FIA came out around that time. But I think that certain the fintech, could have offered that $10 to the local people because it destroyed many lives, right? Even though they made that error in terms of judgment, right?
Yeah.
I also think, right, that what happened at fintech needs a forensic audit because you have to start. I'm not saying anything went wrong, but unless you do that, you're going to have this cloud over the head of fintech. And I think it's best to just do a full extensive audit on it and get it done. But at the time, financial institutions were just dropping because of the contagion effect, all over the place. We didn't have, as I said, capital control. The FSC didn't exist. The FSC, so a lot of people, say what you want to say about FSC. I can tell you, they've done a great job. Remember when we had the world recession in 2007 and banks all over were failing?
Yeah.
Nothing happened in Jamaica.
They treated this guy wrong as soon as he walked in.
Economic effect, which I want to just touch on a little bit, Dennis, because we looked at the debt, the public debt ballooning at that time, and that was because there was formal assumption by the Ministry of Finance at that time of the FinSac bonds, which had been issued. And they said that was Dr. Davis said it was in order to heal the repackaged failed institutions to divest in them. What say you about that decision that was made?
Well, I think that the government did not have a choice. Cannot allow, you couldn't have allowed all those banks to fail. It would have been catastrophic for the country. I don't think we would recover for 2 or 3 lifetimes if that had happened. So there was no doubt that needed to happen. But what caused all of it was the high interest rate policy. Yeah. And even after that, the high interest rate thing still continued, right? It's just that we had capital controls at the time now, right? To deal with that. And the FSC did a fantastic job. I have no doubt that people in some of those financial institutions did not use the money properly because, as I said, people are buying hotels and agricultural lands and going to farm, and banks don't belong in those things, right? But I think the high interest rate policy created a whole lot of damage for the country. I think also that it wasn't handled properly. I think that the cents on the dollar should have been offered to the entrepreneurs. Keep it going. But that single move, I think, would have saved the entrepreneurial class if that was done, right? But what was done instead is that it was sold overseas at cents in the dollar. And I think even after all the errors that were made leading up to it, from the high interest rate policy, the bad decisions being made, and all of those things, I think that if we had done that, right, which is what I was saying at the time, I think that we could have somewhat saved some of the people. Because people even committed suicide, you know. It was a bad situation that was happening at the time.
And then on that matter of the high interest rate policy, I find it interesting though. Dr. Davies, the finance minister at the time, that question was actually put to him by the commissioners, and he said, and I quote, "No directions were given by the Ministry of Finance to the central bank concerning interest rates." He also says, "No directions were given to the central bank, however, in terms of development of policies related to exchange rate, inflation, and financial stability. The governor and senior members of the BOJ were involved in ongoing discussions with me as Minister of Finance, the Financial Secretary, and the Director General of the Planning Institute concerning overall macroeconomic policy. Within that context, the macroeconomic program was developed for each fiscal year and for the medium term."
Yeah, well, look at it this way. Remember, it's just recently that the central bank was made independent.
All right.
Central bank and the Ministry of Finance was like one, right? No.
Okay, so this is a distinction without any actual merit.
Right, because they were one. And remember, if you have a situation where on the fiscal side, right, what government was doing, year after year, I don't know if you're old enough, Kevin, but every year, it was for the last month of the fiscal year, everybody was on a weight loss program, So you wonder what taxes coming. There's no tax coming, right? So what was happening is that there was a runaway expenditure, and government was continuously increasing the salaries of the public sector without increasing productivity. Because remember, labor productivity was falling. You're giving people more money to spend, which means that there's more money chasing your goods. Now, in a situation like that, where government is saying, I want, and I want more money, right? Where is government going to get the money from? No. You get it from the central bank. You either, right, offer high interest rates to pull money in, right? Or you print money. Remember in the 70s we had printed money. I remember what happened with the economy went down by over 20% between 1972 and 1980. Right? So,
but Dennis, I want you to drill down in that a little bit more, because some of our listeners might need to understand the impact of printing money. When I was young, I thought that, but if you never had money, you can go in government and print money, but there's a negative effect that I want you to just extrapolate a little bit more.
Yeah, so remember, there's a balance on the central bank. Remember the other day when we had the US increase in interest rates and we increased interest rates. The reason why we do that is to create a balance between productivity and money that's out there, chasing the productivity that's out there, right? So it's important to understand that relationship, right? Because if you have more money chasing the same amount of goods out there, right, or productivity falls and you still have the same amount of money, it means that there's going to be the same supply with more money out there, which means that people have more money to spend, they're demanding more.
Yeah.
Right? The way that the market deals with that is really price. That's what causes inflation. Right? Once inflation happens, income gets estimated. Once income gets estimated, spending stops. Once spending stops, the economy goes down. That's basically what happened in the 70s when you started printing money.
So you print money and just drive up inflation.
You just drive inflation, and inflation is the killer, which is why interest rates had to go up the other day. Because if the central bank the other day did not put up interest rates, then I can guarantee you would have had a significant problem that we're dealing with even now. But that is what happened during the 70s. So they printed money in the 70s. In the 90s, it was high interest rates.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some significant inflation numbers, you know. It was ridiculous. I remember that at the time, you know, in 1972, you know that the Jamaican dollar was stronger than the US dollar.
Yes.
Right? So in 1990, when Siaga was in power, it had gone up to $5, 50 to 1. By the time we came around to the 90s, it went to $30. And by the end of the 90s, I think it went to like $80. That's to show the extent of the inflation, right? And the impact of the high interest rate policy, right? We really, as an economy, we really have to recover, because remember that what we were doing at the time also, you see the impact of low productivity and the road condition that we're facing now. It is a direct result, as I always say, of the failure to invest in capital infrastructure in the 90s. I remember when the budgets were being done, they used to get the money to fund the budget from two sources. New taxes and cut back on capital expenditure. Right? What that has done, it has left our infrastructure in an unproductive state, which is why we can't grow beyond 1 to 2%. Right? We might do 3% occasionally, but we can't. Because at the time we were pursuing this high interest rate policy, that interest payments were 20% of the dollar. Interest payments.
Yes, I think Dr. Clark said that combined with just salaries was everything. That was the entirety of our revenue. Nothing could cover anything else.
It was constantly running fiscal deficit, which means that the only way that the BOJ could have addressed that is high interest rates. And that's what happened. It's the fiscal side that caused the problem, because government policy was that, hey, you know, we just won't spend and spend and spend. And that's what happened. Now we're just going to give increase and give increase. In fact, if you look throughout the period of history, every time there's a problem with the economy, it's because they have given the significant increase without any productivity improvement, which is the same problem, you know, but to a lesser extent, right? Because we really have to address public wage labor market reform, and we have to address the matter of how we compensate people, right? So we still have the problem, but to a lesser extent, because we're able to control the fiscal and reduce the debt to GDP ratio. So let me tell you, man, it was a great time. I've lived through some great times. I one of the 10 first.
And on that matter of it being a dread time, Dennis, because I have just another very interesting thing from the question and answers provided by Dr. Davies, and this is one relating to if any assistance was requested from multilaterals.
Any advice was sought. And
I just shocked here. It says, yes, advice was sought from the IMF, the World Bank, and the IDB. The discussions took place in both Kingston and Washington and dragged on for several months. The summary of the advice which was eventually received was that intervention would be costly and would impact for an extended period on the fiscal accounts. Against that background, the advice was to allow institutions to fail, their principals excluded from future participation in the financial sector, and the depositors paid out of the proceeds of the sale of the assets that existed. Or to effect this approach, there was the recommendation to close the whole financial system for a period of 2 weeks to implement all the required changes. And Dr. Davies said the last recommendation reflected a total lack of appreciation of the implications of such an unchecked action and was rejected as impractical.
I agree 100% with Dr. Davis on that. If it's my writings at the time, there are many things I didn't agree with him on, but I agree 100% with him on that, right? If we had allowed institutions to fail, it would have been devastating. I'm not just talking about economic consequences. We would have had riots in Jamaica, so Dr. Davis was spot on. You know, let me tell you something. I remember in 2013 when with Dr. Phillips started on the IMF program, and this is with the IMF program that we did in 2013 was the most successful we've had, and that changed everything. And recall this IMF program was drafted by Jamaica. I remember I went to a meeting with some people from the IMF, and when I looked at the numbers, the targets that they had, I said to the person who was the head of the mission, I said, yeah, do you think we can achieve these numbers? I said, that's impractical. You know what the person looked at me and said in that meeting? Said to me, he thinks it's impractical also, but it's a target and we're going to go for it. So I said to him, I said, listen, you can't do that. I said, when you put this burden on Jamaican people and it creates problems in the country, I said, all you do is go overseas and watch it and CNN and unfold enough. I said, I have to live it. Mm-hmm. So you need to revise that. So that can't work. Right? So I said that to say, I agree with Dr. David. They can stay and give all the advice they want overseas. Yeah.
But once it's impractical.
Yeah.
It's impractical.
Yeah. But he was right. He had to intervene. He did not have a choice. If he did not do that, then I mean, the debt that we incurred would have looked like a joke.
Well, thank you, Dennis. I mean, I'm sure we'll get here a lot because, as I said, it's a lot to go through, a lot to unpack in terms of the archive, the data, and I'm sure this will not be the last discussion we have on this matter of the FinSAC Commission archives. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm just 1 of 10, so it's very good.
So there's 9 more to go, huh?
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thank you, Dennis. We'll take the break and more after this.
There you have it. Everybody gets so quiet.
We're going to talk, man. To talk to the phone and talk. Listen. Okay.
Now, gentle people.
Good night, Lancy.
Boy, I say the other night we are talking about the whole JPS thing and then the live was done. What the hell? Let me internet like a problem again. So good.
More news at 7.
Well, Ken, can you want to come up in that box?
CBN News.
Rusty, what kind of tea that you drink?
Green tea. Guava leaf and matcha leaf and something.
Not Tetley or PG tips.
No. Green as in green leaves.
Green leaves, that's good tea. Green tea.
A bush you for drink this hours a night.
Yeah, pay bush me drink. But
I love what I said to you, man. Last time I said I bush that.
Oh, you need to tell me if you drink fever grass and Cersei and mint.
Definitely. So let's say I drink ginger and turmeric and soursop leaf.
Oh, me never hear.
hey, that's Rusty, that's strong, you know.
Soursop, we drop your pressure, you know.
So yeah, but your soursop, you should do it by itself, man, because that's so potent. That's very, very strong. Alright, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
What me just vaguely listening to that thing. I don't know. Mark Golden should even show him face.
But them a try to figure to take him out of it today. I guess them never read the contractor general report.
They will try to do that, you know, because I don't know. I wasn't living in Jamaica during the FinSac, but I read a lot about it, and I can't comment too much on it. Not reading exactly what the report said, but from what I gathered, it's some people trying to pretty it up, and I don't think they're going to get away with it when the whole report come out. But in some case, what Dennis Strong is saying is right. Well, as I said, he said Omar Davis didn't have no choice, and that's right. He didn't have a choice, but because his back was against the wall, so he have to do what he have to do. But everything that instigated was caused by him, the fearlessness of what he allowed to happen.
The politics there.
Politics gone in dinner.
Boy, I'm not getting no dinner yet, bro.
That's why me take a little break and go get something to eat.
You know, Dennis Young said he didn't have any choice, right? But I think you can do the right thing, but if you do the right thing the wrong way, it's still wrong.
Yeah, I think what Dennis Strong said, he didn't have any choice. You see, you can do something, and then when you do it and it's messed up.
Oh, that's somebody.
One love.
Another respect.
One love, not ready for your conversation. Go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, you do something and it makes Dennis, you go to plan B. I would say that he didn't have any choices. He got plan, and then plan A didn't work, so you have to go to plan B, plan A, from plan A to plan B to plan C, and then when they go to plan B and it don't work, they didn't have no other plan, and that's what was the problem.
You know, I think listen to Dennis. I think Dennis Chung is trying to be a little diplomatic, you know. As I said a while ago, and I totally would agree with him in the way he put it. Omar Davis didn't have a choice, but he did the right thing, but he went about it the wrong way. Because if you lend me $100 today, right, and I say I'm going to pay it back tomorrow, and when I call you tomorrow and say, Ken, how much money do I owe you? Say $150. How that comes in?
Exactly.
And then, and this thing, a lot of people, that is why a lot of people went bankrupt. A lot of people kill themselves, and
they knew what they were doing.
Of course, they knew what they were doing. Remember, Mark. No, and I'm going to say, if Mark Golden is who he say he is as a lawyer, he was the instigator of this FinSac thing. So they know from the outset what they were doing. They know.
They knew what they were doing. It just went wrong, and they didn't have a plan B, and then tried something else, and they didn't know what they were doing, and that's what created the problem.
Exactly.
Banks, that the financial institution that go down, and if you realize it, you know that guy Crawford, Century Bank.
Century, yeah.
Yeah, and if you realize, because he's a JLP supporter, he was the only one that they went after, you know.
Not the only one. He was the first one.
But he's the one that went to court and fight it, and because he was a JLP supporter, and that's why they tried to bring him down to feel like he create the whole situation. So I don't know.
One thing you know, it is sad, and Jamaica will never ever recover from this. No,
they won't.
Never.
They will recover in a sense that it's sort of we reach a stage now where we can do our infrastructures and social, program and stuff like that. But push us back like 2 decades. Because if that didn't happen, well, I know the PNP wasn't a party, a government for nation building, for infrastructure and economic growth. Yeah, I understand that. But it could not reach this stage. And you can imagine what Jamaica would be like now. Oh, well, I am hoping.
I am hoping some PNP was listening to this interview from Nationwide this evening, because you know what I'm also happy about too is when he went back to the 70s when the Jamaican dollars was more than the US dollar.
Yeah, I remember. Hey, it's not even that, You see, in the 70s, when I remember when I just finished UE, I got a job with the Auditor General in Trinidad. I was on a work program from UE to Trinidad, and I was taking some money, and you have the, what I call it, at the time, I think the Financial Investigation Division of the FID at the airport, and you couldn't take out something like more than $50 out of the country during that time. And I took some money to take with me. And there was a Citibank, I think before the airport developed at Norman Manley. And there was, I think it was a Citizen Bank or Citibank. I think the Citizen Bank was at the airport. And I have to go in there, open an account and put that money in it, because I couldn't take it out of the country because it wasn't allowed more than $50 out of the country. And that was late 70s. So it's and that's why the dollar started to devalue. And then in the 90s it got worse because of FinTech. But the Jamaican dollars was stronger than US dollars. Because remember, I think it was 68 that we went from pound, shilling, and pence to dollars and cents. The dollar was stronger than the US dollars at the time. So you see how far we're coming from. So PNP always crush our economic. Don't care what nobody wants to say.
Beautiful Jamaica gone right to the dogs on the PNP.
Yep.
Thank God for Jamaica Live Party.
But you see a lot of people now going to listen, read the report, listen commentary, and they're going to spin it. They're going to spin it. And the press, like the Gleaner, the electronic media, they're not running it. They're just going to just leave it as if nothing not happening, as if it is not significant at all. It is insignificant to them.
I stopped reading Gleaner because I used to, but I stopped.
I don't read it. I don't watch TVJ. I don't watch news. I don't watch news in Jamaica. It may sound bad, but I don't watch no news. I don't read it, Gleaner. I don't read it because the reporting is so bad.
To be frank, anytime me want to hear what they go on in Jamaica, I go on Rusty page and info and all them on the page of them, and then go on them page and hear what they go on in Jamaica.
And sadly, me not watch news neither.
No. I don't. Because from I was living in Jamaica, what I noticed with especially TV, they only put out the negative thing they put out about Jamaica. They don't really put out anything positive, and that's ridiculous. Okay, I don't. I don't. Okay, I don't know. Look at today. The Prime Minister.
Go ahead.
Hey, I was listening Nationwide this evening, and I heard them say that the Prime Minister announced for international airport for Negril, and I'm sure none of the other news that now will bring that out, like like it is anything for Jamaica. And that's a big something for Jamaica.
That should be a front page.
That should be on the front page long time.
You'll be running with it.
Exactly. I mean, now when me go to Jamaica now, me can just as me Dujan say him can this morning, Dujan say him can just fly go on the grill and walk, why not?
And it's
when
like even down at Ian Fleming's airport, they're developing that one also. So people who live in the east side of Jamaica, they can just take it, go Ian Fleming and go to Portland, go to St. Mary. They don't have to go to Montego Bay or Kingston.
When me go to Jamaica next year for the election, me can go either. I would open the airport by next year. We fly go on the grill.
No, I don't think it's maybe that's about that.
No, I know it won't be ready for next year. I know, but at least that is big investment, man. That is so big, huge.
Yeah. Because this is really good for us for moving goods and services. Because a short flight you're going to leave from Negril to go to Kingston, to go to Montego Bay. So somebody who have goods to move to, that they don't have to go, logistics-wise. They have the air and freight, and they have the road. So that's very, very good. And then you're going to have a logistic hub at Port Royal, so which is really, really good for the country.
Yeah, but what my investment going for the country, brother, and I can see. It seems like every PNP blind to what they go on to Jamaica right now. Because me go to Jamaica last year and Jamaica look so nice. Me almost last week home. The way Jamaica look nice and
wow.
What am I tell you, brother?
No appreciation. These people are so unpatriotic.
No, a bad mind.
Power, again, I would say they're seeking power, and they will do anything to get power because they're seeking power not to develop the country, but they're seeking power to line their pockets. And that's what PNP is all about. It's a cult.
I can remember since 1979. You come a young youth them time there, and from them time till now. 2024. I think this is the only administration can go into election and campaign and performance.
But you say that, but you see that's a problem now. We don't vote on policies and performance. We vote on party politics, and that's our problem. And
that's a problem. Yeah, that's true. Come, mama.
The one slang it was a one slang we win our election. You remember when then it come up and turn up the thing?
Yeah, man, then PJ, remember the if you notice from PNP election, you do it on slang. Michael Manley, my leader Banya, beat Siaga. PJ come black man time. Just slang them come with.
Slang.
What is the one you come with now?
Time come.
So what?
Master, good night, Master. I forgot to tell you good night.
Good night, how are you?
I'm good, and bad man Philippian. Everything good still.
Time come for what?
Right. You see Philippine, yes, but maybe just imagine how far Philippine they are now.
Where's the name? Time come for PNP done. That's what time come for Master. Time come for the end of PNP.
It's about time to bury him.
As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, if you stop calling PNP, it is Risers United.
Because they said that PNP headquarters is going to be an shrine, like they're going to have it as a museum. And that's what going to happen to them.
Yeah, so the MP and top up the way I thought.
Good evening.
So me see, I was on TikTok just a while ago before I come on this live, and I saw Isaac Buchanan on a live. So me text and ask. Man, me text and ask you, what plan do you and the PNP have for the country? Man, any live same time.
Alright.
So anytime you see that, you know, that is my tagline for any PNP live me go on right now. What's your plan? Because if you can't come to me with a plan, you can't run a country. Because I watch a conference and me no hear my goal and talk about no plan. Man, just time come. Time come for what?
You talk about no plan. You know me hear them.
You hear them?
Of course.
Well, if you come ready hear them, so what if you come ready too?
Hello, were you there? You know the man tell us say. You know the man them tell us say they're gonna raise one. Listen to me, man. 1% on GCT. That from 15 to 16%. The next plan is to use a fee for hospitals. We're gonna make affordable care. That's the plan.
You say you have to pay for your health service.
You have to pay for your health service. That's the plan. The man are telling us.
And
what else him say? What else he say? He's gonna give fisherman. He's gonna give fisherman money to run the border for us and stop buying these speedboats to protect it.
And something about student write-off will not make sense.
Yeah, to write off the teachers' debts.
Like I got teach one tech student.
Like I only teach one tech student loan. What about this one will come out now? No one PNP one will come out and says pastor should go into school now to teach.
Oh yeah.
What about the one will come out and say the kids should go into boarding school, boys should go into boarding schools?
You see,
most of these pastors in Jamaica don't go to theological college.
Because so when you have, if you know the amount of abuse, there is good and bad in boarding school, but you have to be careful how you do that. Who's gonna pay for it? So when you say they have a plan,
the PNP party are trying to build an aquarium. That's what they want the boys if you go to boarding school.
So who you say they don't have no plan, man? You have to tell them
what we can plan to build aquarium.
No, we them have the plan. I know we. The man just said, what's the plan?
Master.
Your plan can nobody use. Yes.
Master.
Hello?
Me might never go to university, you see? me might never go to university, which is a fact. But me street smart and me can have look common sense about me. So when me see a plan, I hear a plan, me know it.
No, but
because I am in the building world.
Hold on, but that's the Marcia, right? That's the plan they come up with. So you have it.
They're telling you.
That's a.
Did they not say they're gonna increase GCT? They were hoping to increase GCT by 1. No, you're laughing, but that's true.
No, that's true.
No, that's true. That's what Damien Crawford said.
When
Damien Crawford bust it, then come out and say they're moving away from that. If that wasn't discussed before, Damien will come out and say it.
Anybody did hear when them say I'm gonna remove the user fee?
Well, he said he's gonna make affordable. He said he's gonna make affordable health care. Having affordable health care could interpret to say that there's gonna be a user fee.
Yeah, because it is free now.
Exactly. The man
Rusty, one tell
you. Hold on, sorry. Wasn't it Peter Bunting that sit down on one round table and tell us to give the fisherman them the money to be the informer to tell us about the guns coming into the country?
Exactly, Marcia. Exactly.
So that is for security. So one is for goods and services. The man talk about goods and services increase in GCT. They talk about security. Let the fishermen them patrol the border instead of having these speedboats. That's 2. What did he say again? Healthcare. He talks about affordable care. So GCT, goods and service, healthcare, education. The plan is to put them into boarding school. Those are plans that they're telling us they're gonna do.
Okay, so they will sell back the boat. They want to leave a party by if we fund them all them services there.
Well, however they they wish to do it there, but they're
Oh,
gonna give
Jesus Christ.
Like to put
as
in
a matter
butter,
of fact,
put in butter and put mouth, Marcia.
the good thing about it there, no more divine intervention.
Yet.
Wasn't that a plan they have to?
PJ, when say you can't give hungry man the food for carry. But right now, boy.
Yeah, man, the people them have some big plan for me. And I hear the man them a shout out, happy birthday, happy anniversary.
Master,
You know, you're the man, the leader, they say happy anniversary.
Me
My
say
dear.
happy, but right now the PNP mash up with that with all that. I know the leader, the GSEC,
Listen to
Isaac
me.
Buchanan, the whole of them.
But listen to me, a PNP.
No
PNP
risers.
come out and wish happy birthday. If I even one say it, a PNP, he represent the party.
That's true.
Do you guys know that it's East Portland? You know, it's 30 years. East Portland didn't get up JLP MP until Anne-Marie was won that by-election in 2009.
Yeah, man, I know.
30 years.
No, but look here, my friends. Good evening, everybody. I just rise up to say something serious enough. You know, I heard Petal saying them people gonna pin this FinSac business on the JLP, you know. And
Yeah, that is it.
it concerns me because it's not a joke. The money we tell a man with just don't eat a plate of food, say him hungry. That's how convincing they are. But we need to watch them, you know. Not rise up to say, you know, it's not taken for a joke, or them lie.
But as a matter of fact, Petal was playing a tape this evening or listening live on Nationwide. And if you listen to whoever was speaking, they were blaming the people who lost their homes.
Yeah.
They were blaming the people. That's what I gathered from what he was saying.
Yes, you know, I listened to the news this evening and the lawyers for FinSac is saying that FinSac have nothing to do with say most of what they are saying about FinSac is a lie.
See there?
Because they have no evidence, they have no proof, and then I heard that and because I basically was listening on my way from work this evening.
So somebody should have asked him. Somebody should have asked him that, you know, them chop up lizard fine. A lizard they still him alive or him dead? Or him unalive?
He's probably alive in their logic.
There you go.
Alive in heaven.
So not because there is not evidence, and of course there's evidence because people are still alive, and we know people kill themselves because of it.
Of course. No,
we know that.
You see, that's why we can't like a lawyer, you know, some lawyers, you know, because I mean people suffer and
No, that's what they're paid to do. That's what they're paid to do, to defend their clients.
Yeah, that's what they paid to do.
That's what they're paid to do. To defend your clients.
You have to watch these people, man, because you can't trust them. When they tell you what their plan, when them tell you what their plan is.
You know what? To be honest with you, I wouldn't allow ourselves to get caught up in the FinSac because you know what? Nothing gonna come out of it. Absolutely nothing.
May I say that?
Get back on message.
If you notice, you know,
yes.
Always. You see, me kind of have some understand. Me not
yes.
say me this, but me kind of
it's
know.
A distraction.
And me kind of know
no one is going to hold accountable for
exactly.
Yeah. Me kind of have like a sense in politics. Me know say certain things Jamaica people just pass like nothing.
Exactly.
And when everybody talk about FinSac, me are the only one you know here run with it. See, them do live about it. How much somebody, even some of our own supporter. You see them sharing.
No, the reason why you see people live, they want to tell to me why they did it. Whoever
no man, me glad feel, but me
exactly.
just say I am saying that even some of we not pay no mind. So for me, let me tell you what win election. Whether we like it or not. You know how win election?
What is happening now?
Yeah, and the day.
Two things with election politics.
No,
on the
day who have a better machinery and sometimes who can spend money.
Yeah, but that's
Let me tell you, and I believe that as I say, money include. Yeah, I was thinking about more, but I think three things that win the election. You see, the best promises, the better machinery, and the more money.
Yeah, promise. Yeah, promise.
But that's sad. So that means say.
No, it's sad. It's sad. But guess, yeah, I'm tell you why it's even more sad.
And then win.
Yeah, I'm tell you why even more sad that night. Because there's some of the person who I look for us on normal like a man. You will hear them as kill themselves for teacher. Oh, teacher want more money. And them not them wife and a teacher.
I'm going to give you a big example of how you're right you are. When Donald Trump was running against, Obama was running against John McCain. I think it was John McCain. Yes, John McCain. There was a guy them called Plumber Joe. Remember that name? So
yeah.
Plumber Joe was just an ordinary plumber. We know the plumbing and doing 1 and 2 local business. Plumber Joe have no thing to expand his business because I think Plumber Joe might just have a certificate in plumbing or him learn along the way. But him have no, to expand, right? And they were talking about taxes for the rich, or for if you make certain amount of money, that is when, I think Obama said it was $250,000. After $250,000, they would start to tax you. Plumber Joe said, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And them said, why? He said, no. Them said to him, but you don't have the way how to make, because no hotel or nobody be gonna give you a contract for $250,000. The man said, no, when him start making that money, that's when I'm gonna pay taxes. When him start. So he's looking to say when we start making that money, not looking at what he's making and it's gonna benefit him now. This is how they teach you. Unfortunately, he died, they said last year. I think, or since year, they said he died. You get what I mean?
Yeah, it's sad.
True. It's true.
Exactly.
But it's reality. When we are jump up, and man like me, we appreciate the government. Sometimes, literally, when I see some things are done in other country, I feel proud and out of mind. I could have marked all 1,000x.
But look,
don't we have some people where all when their road fix?
Politics is the same. Politics is the same situation with parents that don't have any money to pay school fee. They struggle to pay school fee. When the JLP government said, no one shall pay school fee shall be free. The same parent that can't afford it, gone out there gonna protest saying, we want to pay school fee. Look at that was confusing to me.
Yeah, man, but as me tell you, the people who advocate for the, as bad as them say they hate the police, them not nobody a police, them not nobody a nurse, and at them out there advocate for them. And when the nurse them happy, the other drive them car, you have some people still say nurse and teacher and I get no pay. And these are
and the nurse and teacher they complaining now. And them they complain.
Nurse are complaining. You know your nurse and teacher are complaining.
Lady said it earlier. What's your name, Joy? Miss Joy? She said the people that complaining about roads are the ones that don't drive.
That's true.
Yes, them about them poor man. Come on, them about them poor man stone. Come on.
Because you know what? I a perfect example of this, in the local government election in February in Bethel Town. There are some roads in Bethel Town of fixed over 40 years and did. And all like councillors in Eastern West are PNP councillors. I'm talking about local government roads. and the MP come in and fix the road. And the people still vote for the PNP them down there.
Yeah, me go a better town long time ago, not in since 2020, and the road them. When me go a better town, they come like ghost town, cause them did have war with the scammer them.
Yeah, okay, yeah man, that I went about 07, 08 in time.
Cause when me come down there, man, you know, see nobody really on the road much.
Also because that time we used to have, every week we have like 2 and 5 there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we, when it come on, that's why I say, 2, we can be love, or we probably say about be love our thing, but sometimes we have to give them what they want. We have to give people, we have to acknowledge that there are certain kind of people who are going to turn out that their numbers to vote. And that's why me agree with the campaign. Spending money, go
yeah man.
Big campaign, have motorcade, do one of the things where me say Patterson use one at the time, Porsche use it. Me say this I wanna try, but it's not that effective. I do the island-wide tour. And me believe that Jamaica people are still vulnerable and still in that mood. So more advise my government as well, Daryl Vasse.
Exactly, yeah, Daryl Vasse put on his jeans and in clocks and leave out the office and go up on the road.
Andre, me no want Andre get fooled by when him a do, cause Jamaica people am ungrateful. Want him time. Him himself know when him a go call the election and want him timing. Me no want nothing like the local.
Yeah, and if you time it to perfection.
Yeah, time it to perfection. Cause we not tell him to go out, go camp, cause him a go skip the election September or even in August. Or we don't tell him to go campaign now, but what we want him to do, we don't want him fooled by what?
By work.
No, Jamaica people still, one of the things we not love, but what me want them to move away from soon too, is where I keep meeting in a auditor room and them something. I want it on the street. I want it
yeah, go back to your first time street meeting.
Yeah.
Like in a square them and all them something.
Yeah, but politics, we can't start the campaign too early, you know.
No man, but Ken, if you listen, that's why I may say, him a the man where know when it a go call. Remember him calling, so what we're saying, him fit timing. Because that's what we're saying, if him a go call, he like call in August, September, and you know, make no sense in start campaign now.
No, because you want something fresh in the voters' mind, the people's mind. So you can't, because PNP campaigning for what, nearly 3-4 years. So
and then get no momentum. Before they get momentum.
No momentum.
Them are reduced.
Yeah, you want things fresh in people's mind. You give them a date where they not expect, and you know and your plan. You have a contingency plan, and you say when we have a machinery in place now, because you can't just go and say we have a campaign and we don't have our machine, because we don't know who's going to run in the seat. So we have to get all our 63 MPs, our representative in place.
And if you not do that, Ken, if you see him now rush. You know, so we now get an early election.
Yeah, because you know you have a grace period also. Because he can, even if it's October or September, he still got a couple months he can call it. That's
true. You know what I'm thinking, gentlemen? I'm thinking it should perhaps...
Oh, look, I can be a British up on the line. So I want the line.
Right?
All right, you want to hear me, guys?
Well, on the plan.
What I was thinking, maybe we should get rid of this court case first, you know. I think we should get rid of this, you know, this cloud over the Prime Minister's head first.
No, and but that's what we're saying, you know, when the court case just like when you get what more you get to understand him now sooner when the PMP
No, I understand. No man, me understand. Me clearly, it's just a judicial review.
Yeah,
But it's what the judge said will be the final case. And whenever them are talk about him a change the law, just tell them that the attorney general is not in court. Just tell them that.
Yeah,
And that will shut
even
them
though
up.
we know that him have a right to change the law, to him up but change it. You don't a KD night set it. You don't much law was say the night KD night set.
KD night is a waste, man.
Oh, KD night did this tell them near the son him in a position of. So why one thing me not like with JLP, them easy take bully car. Me used to cuss bad, you know, when I remember when Raymond Person come up about we pay him a using page and him wonder where them money them fool and he say, and when him say Messi Andrew tap go live. Andrew live used to everywhere Andrew going on in live and me glad if you see him start back. You can't make them people them bully you.
You know, it's just like you remember when Bruce was Prime Minister? He used to have a calling program on the radio too.
Yeah.
Anybody could call and question him and ask him anything you want to ask him. But one of the things I think what Andrew needs to do is I think they need to have more press conference also, because when they have something.
The Honorable Prime Minister, we need to stop calling the man Andrew, you know. When
Dr. Hollis or Dr. the right honorable.
But having the press conference, I mean, we have a weekly thing that this lady is coming on every Friday and give us what's going on. I don't think, I mean, everybody have their own opinion, but I don't think we should have like come out and rebut.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ken. One of the things when we find out with the support of them kind, and we kind of enough. I not say you exactly, so don't get me wrong. And sometimes me fall in that. Sometimes, but then when I look at myself, I say no, I'm not saying. Sometimes we kind of in a panic mode where we just want to see something, but we have to understand, say,
the right politics.
Them would know what them are do. Them would know amount of money them are going to spend. Them would keep contact. You know, so them are do some poll where we don't know about.
Yeah.
Them are the poll them where we don't know about. So when me look for them, I just say, we just have to trust them.
Yeah, because they have
to look at JC tell me about them poll.
Yeah, man, them the poor. I know.
Every political party have that. It's called internal polling.
All right, politics.
You know what?
You man say, who did come on the live just now and say they're going to use the FinSac against labor rights?
I get them blackers to talk about.
Me just go over Howard and listen what him say.
And alive watching people lose their business and that sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, when the report finally complete and when they're looking at it, them say some more labor right benefit from FinSac. So them now better release it. Them leave it in a university so them can do research. What kind of research university students have to find out from careless borrowing and careless lending where the people did have them type of business at all? If you're looking at the report, we have more bank than what wholesale that town in them days there. So clearly they couldn't have survived. We're looking at the report, there's about 50 different banks. And at the time, population of about 2.5 million people. And you have 50 different banks. So they might cannibalize each other customer.
Yeah. Don't work as back to the
government. Don't talk like say they might do something. Them keep risky lending. Just like when you say Andrew do, call Barita and tell him say this and tell him say that, and instead of them collect the collateral and ensure that due process was followed, them hand over the money and the same thing.
Who that attack?
Those business done in those days.
Go on, man.
You want to over foreign, we can't even come vote for him party.
Yeah. Somebody just come on the live concert, them are going to turn around and say a labor. The man say, a labor right, buy out all. Yo, we are telling boy.
Yeah, but this is what me I said.
No, him I want to know nothing and just go on like, him them grab up, but me find out, say, as somebody me used to listen to, but me find, one night time, him come on we live, and we have a good discussion. We even did that play. One guy up top, me not see him, up top, we come with that plan and say, we don't talk no politics today, man. We talk politics. We talk Christian church. We are going to play a gospel song and we kids when you say this is a blood sport, you know, if I lie, if you lie, if you get ahead, that's how you go.
Same, on a catch him in a safety zone where I'm at to admit.
Yeah, man, so that's a politics, a win. You want your side if you win, say a blood sport.
You know, any well-thinking Jamaican hear that. Any well-thinking Jamaican hear that. Cannot say that's a lie because there's no way.
Yeah, but you can't say that. You cannot say
hold
that.
on, brother. No, let me finish.
Yeah,
let me finish.
Because people, a lot of people don't know much about
it. Hey, that money, the way the money are lie.
What I am saying. What I'm saying. You don't let me finish.
Red shoes. Make up. You wear red shoes. And then money we convince you say your shoes blue. And you believe them. You hear the man them lie. Don't you hear
that's what? No, that's if you hear what I said. If you hear what I said, any well-thinking Jamaican. I'm not talking about the vulnerable. No, we have. If me no say no PNP is not gonna give a labor right something of like that. No.
Yeah, but me want to know where's all these well-thinking Jamaicans, you know, because I keep hearing this term, you know, that even them PNP I use that term too. Them keep using the term well-thinking Jamaican. Where them there? I want to know where them there.
And this is real. Hold on, the guy. This is where a young man did that come on and him attack, and him say, we like basically him say we spend too much time on the IC and one bag of something, and me tell him say if I never we TikTok or sometimes nobody no look pan. When me the on the life a man and I don't even get a gift when I can buy $200 credit. If I never them would have control the space, no mind one election we don't have to call. Because them mix up it, them do everything to it. And the time we spend on it, we give a lot of people confidence to show them, say, look, all of them are come with a lie, fear lies. So, see like how we do that sweet business work. You know, say today you run for my mind, me ask it. If you're good. Same like how we push back that. We have to go push back the FinSac same way. We have to go allow people to know, because don't take them lightly, you know. Or that we do one live and over 1,000 of people. As when it starts share and so people will hear it. But what I think I may tell you now.
Listen, the man say they have to pay. They have to go pay view the FinSac. Something, you know, and that the man say, you know.
But guys, this is not the real report, you know. This is just a transcript.
No, but the real report. Remember, say them be say real report now come and keep up.
I think the real report that will come anymore. I think this is it.
No man, the real one.
I think this is it, bro.
Script of
no, guess what them have Dark Night. You know them have go come out one video. So it's not gonna be a
yeah. Pretty for the like producers, them give them money to start create content and stuff. Hey, sweet
Guys, I want to say something.
if you have the production company, you can apply for the grant, you know. Hold on. Hold on. Somebody has to say something.
You know, something I like when them people come on the live and just disturb the live.
Yeah, with them background.
Just black
With them background noisy.
Mute him.
No, I'm not even have time to mute them. I normally just take them.
Hey, Brother Ken did want to say something. Go on, Brother Ken. Go on. Ken.
And like, but guy, they will twist it. If we not turn up, them put it on we and make it look like a we.
So
yeah, what them are run with more labor right get.
You see that? I don't know if you need to listen to Dujan live today. You say the man Sydney Pande, Sydney attack. Sydney.
Yeah, man, the panic too.
Then give Sydney 2 minutes to talk. The man talk and not say a word. The man not say nothing. The man just talk and talk. And the man go round and round and round and he not say not one thing. If you ask me one thing of significance when you say to them.
Oh, even dangerous to you in the dark night. I take him
man.
like,
I chew man. I chew that night.
The man talk and say nothing.
Yeah, man, one time I get bringle upon him and say, big man, this is a Jamaica Labour Party live, it's not a fear. So when you come and go and say you want to overstep nobody. Man, grieve me, brother. So me ask him the question. Say, all I'm going to say, Andrew thief. Tell me one thing, why thief? I know him can't name me one.
Well, we have been for a while and they can't come up with nothing, so.
Hey, the man said something, you know. The man say, and when I think, you see people on the panel never hear what him say, you know. When time he made the mistake and say, that's what he was told. When time, I think you did that person. When you asked him, which part in the report say that? Which page?
No, but
which
dark night. Yeah, I'm tell you for when we not fit. Me no know. Me and do down a bridging. Me and chuck a bridging. Me and I can't tell nobody if you run their life. But me say, me no see why. Me not have a problem with PMP come from my life, but me don't see why I want back Sydney, Cole, and them for me like, cause we don't know them have fear for nothing.
Get a final close from them. Just take all of them and ask them one question. Why are you a PMP?
I'm going to answer. Come on. You don't know them.
Ask them why them a PMP.
Them have a twisted man. A school you come like couldn't understand them. A school.
Me ask him this man. Me ask him the question this man, Mr. Brother. You love PNP or you love Jamaica? Which one?
Yeah,
you love it one.
Are you okay?
Yeah, man,
It be that work.
Hold on.
No, if a man ask me if me love Labour Party and me love Jamaica, but it's me love Jamaica first, brother.
Yeah.
Hold on, guy. We are going live before. We are going live before the local government election. Good look at time. And from we know Sydney have never come to a conclusion or come into agreement to do say yes, the government will do something good. Sydney never say one thing. So why would want to have a conversation?
I true, brother. Because the question I asked him this morning, he said, I've got to think.
But today them say, I think Dujan asked him, say, so wait, so Andrew do everything wrong? And him say, me never say that. He say, no, I admit it, you know. If no, I admit it.
But he man say, so, when Dujan asked me if Andrew do not good, he man say, I've got to think about it.
Exactly, that's it.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Hi. Good night, everybody.
Good night, baby.
Hi. Hi. You asked a question. If you ask a PNP supporter, why are they a PNP supporter? Why are they why they're voting for the PNP? Now, if you realize with a lot of them, and if you ask them that, some of them will tell you that, oh, Manley did give my great grandmother a house, or Manley did give my grandfather a house, or I get this or that from the PNP. It's always what they've got. It's always some handout business. It's never, oh, I support the PNP party, or I'm a PNP supporter because of what they've done for the country. They did this for healthcare. They did this for schools. They did this for police stations. The police force. It's never that. It's never that. Like, if you should ask some of these comrades, the PNP has created a kind of, like, a lot of their supporters are just blind loyalists. If you check it out, if you really listen to some of them and how they talk sometimes. I've met a few, and it's always, like I said, it's what they got from the party. It's the handouts that they got.
That's correct.
It's always party over country, right? So I just wanted to come on and just say that, since that's my little.
No, you're right. You're totally right. And then one of the things, Ken a young boy. So one of the things, if you ever follow them live, just check out the kind of age group with them on their live. You find out roughly people were normally over 50.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on life. You're so right.
How many depend on life?
Well,
no, we support them.
Politics is so right, because I remember, I'll give you guys this scenario. I remember, Kingston at Crossroads, at Scotiabank, right in front of Carrie Theatre, right? Remember, just leaving high school, I got a job at Scotiabank, and that time in the crash program, you have the crash program, and you got people from Hannatown, Jungle, Torrington Bridge, all them things. Garrison used to come up there on a Friday, bank closed 12 o'clock and woke up back 1 o'clock Friday and close at 5 o'clock. 1 o'clock close at 5.
Ken.
Yeah?
Sorry to interrupt you. Which bank did they beside Woolworth? Was it a credit union?
No, man. There was a credit union right before at the Scotiabank, and there was Woolworth there, and there was JOS office, and there was a credit union there also. You're right.
Yeah, well, the credit union was in a brown writing, right?
Right. And then they go further up. You have at the time it was Barclays before it became MCB.
Okay.
The crash program people them from the jungle, from Hannatown, Jonestown, Slipen Road.
Remember when free zone worker then usually forward you and then get them pay?
Yeah, out there, so them used to come for, and you have one man who have 10 check to cash. And we was under pressure because when they come say with one check we can cash, you can't cash it, where's the person for the check? Because that man will have somebody on the crash program, but he might collect the check and give them what they want to give them. And that's how crash program used to work. You have the head man for the area, collect how much check or give people check to come change. And that's where the corruption was in crash program.
Mm-hmm.
So I know these things happen from those days. And it's still happening.
The only policy PNP have is handout policy.
Exactly.
I would have said them handout in a car where them used to give no help, none of them.
But politics, come on, man. Remember said PNP no independent like we no, brother. They don't want more than us then get to. Alright. When me come from Westmoreland, see? And anytime when PJ used to run, me can't guarantee you say one selection call. They might want big feast, cow, donkey, jackass, monkey, dog, puss, and everything all cook at Mad McLeod Secondary School. And everybody dressed up like the orange and gold, they go there and big food, and the next day election. PJ come a Betheltown. I remember PJ come a Betheltown 1992 election. That was in October, I believe. And PJ come and say Betheltown people 101. That time we didn't even have phone, not all in the Betheltown was a country place, back about. And the people say, we want PJ, we want PJ. And PJ say, Mr. Music Man, play some music and in God. You see that Christmas, brother? I did enough is army like you see with PJ participant. Come a Betheltown. We want PJ. So they don't want nothing.
Him not did Fresh Prince.
PNP don't want nothing, brother. PNP don't want nothing. He doesn't try to get nothing at all, brother.
That's why it's one on space up today.
You know, the only
exactly
the one. No, the one problem I did have my way boss at the state too long. I believe if you lose, if you happen that you lose 2 elections,
just step away, man. Yeah, man. Anyway, stand too long for you, brother.
I don't know if you could have blamed him for that though. I don't know because I think in party it split, remember?
No, but I him cause the split. I him cause the split because he make a statement saying nobody in that party for leading.
Yeah, I don't think we should go there because it was a difficult period at time, really. Because to be honest with you, Eddie Siago was the only person to take on Michael Manley at the time. And we don't want to go back there. Mistake made, you know, so we just have to move on from there, you know?
Yeah.
True.
But you're right, you know, Ken, but what may I get to it now? Me not give them the rating because right now we have a leader where them know say once this a man on, we're not even have to worry about the third term because the third term.
And Thiago was his mentor at the time, so.
Because when I think I may look on, I think Jamaica people them so bad man and fool. Because guys, my MP them really are put in the work. You see, Dave Brown I put in the work.
Yeah, man, Dave Brown, they work. I was man over there for sure.
Yeah, when they look for even the young lady, sometimes I have to wonder, Anne-Marie, if I fear her own money she use, I do so much work. Xavier Main, not even by the talk about Crystal Lee. I want to know, Crystal Lee fix up the whole Sydney side, you know?
Yeah, you see, from Runaway Bay straight to Brownstone going to Alexandra. Yeah, but when last they drive on that road?
Yeah, man, fully bob from Brownstone to...
Not just from Runaway Bay, goes straight up past the Pleasant Football Academy, right up to Brownstone, go to Alexandra. The whole of that
fully Barber Green.
Yeah, going back to Cave Valley.
Yo, one thing we can't tell you, brother. I mean, I've known those that Labour Party going back the next election, and they now win small like that. The other face where we know 30, 34.
I don't think I have a problem. I think we're going to win. There's no way. We have 49 seats, even if we lose 4 seats, but we're not going to lose 30 or 20 seats.
Okay, can we look at the seats that the Labour Party have now? Which seat do you think we can look?
Let's not go there. No. We're not going there.
We're not going there. We are going back here.
Leave that for now.
Well, except Mark Gordon, we don't want a team seat.
I say, Kadisha, that may I look Pantino, may I look Pandak, I think we're going to get. May I look strong as St. Mary.
Hey, PNP jersey that we don't want, you know. Some of them PNP jerseys we don't want. And them people don't want nothing.
Yeah.
So that battle that we we are winning Trilan, we are winning Montego, we are winning Hanover, we are winning Westmoreland.
Yeah, we not.
We can't lose it.
We need to reduce them 14.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
I tell you what, go.
Well, guys, Come on, be fair, man. We don't want to win. Give them some bonus, man. Make them get few seats in the parliament.
You know, let me tell you something. You see, true me that kind of build a brother when me build me kind of love build a whip a black idea. So me just love to do me thing. So yeah, so me just look at and say, boy, me tell you something, brother. So you kill a man, you just kill him, answer.
Yeah.
No leave no witness, no leave no evidence. Just clean up his spot.
Somebody say, why we don't want Mark seat? We don't want Mark seat.
We don't want that. We don't want
that.
We don't want for Angela. We don't want for Angela seat neither. I don't. Them two places too nasty.
For sure, we don't want them there.
Yeah, if Angela Burke can stay and for Mark Golding can stay, but any other seat we are take them.
You don't want jungle. You know, even places like Rima, Craigtown. You know those JLP stronghold in Craigtown and Rima.
Of course, even Angela Brownberg Porsche seat too.
Yeah,
them seats. But them come burn out the labor rights, innit?
Yeah, you know, so me power program today. I was listening and they said when Porsche come down there, the lady was saying that all fair house, all the driver then throw orange paint parliament shop when they move out of the place. And burn them out of the place.
Yeah, I think the lady named Marcy, I think. She said
yes, man.
Spanish town.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd tell me, yeah. But
true,
let me tell you, one election year say Rima, Mark Golding constituency, them win for both. Them win. Who win? I can't remember who win for 100 seats or 120 seats or something like that. The people them go on alive 120 people exactly. The amount where them win by. Just the next election and can't win. PMP did that. That's all about them. See, I'll go this
When I tell you I'm afraid of them.
You remember what happened? Hey, politics, you remember what happened in Valley with Siaga when Porter Simpson have to go and them lock up the gate within the night and accuse him saying no teeth like that?
But Ken, I'm afraid of them because just pass on their life and you then talk.
Them dangerous.
It's like a war then doing
dangerous people then.
I mean, I said, why we are taking it so serious?
Petal, you asleep?
No man, Petal, I go to bed early.
I'm Philippine. Them are wait for munchieb.
May I tell you, say maybe Philippine there's somewhere for one life. You don't know Philippine?
Yeah, gather information, yeah.
Man, Philippine was tired from earlier, man. I think she's tired.
But Petal normally Petal right now, Petal stream records some live.
Two coming information, yeah.
Paul, Joseph, Goebbels.
Hey Shen, you see the FinSec archive?
I started reading some of it, but I don't know. I guess I was starting to feel a bit emotional. I was reading the witness statements and submissions. Yeah.
Well, look out for the latest. The PNP are blaming us for it. So
yeah, I mean they're gonna. Okay, let me tell you something. You see, history has a way of repeating itself, and I've always said that the PNP is a propaganda party because basically everything that they do is just from like a propagandist playbook.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many of you are familiar with Joseph Goebbels. He was He was like a minister of propaganda, really. He was Adolf Hitler's closest and most devoted follower. And if you should really read up on some of his work and some of the things that he did and compare it to the PNP party, it's exactly the same. I mean,
That's
look at
where
them.
they get the playbook from. That's
Exactly, right? Because even the word comrade, I wonder if a lot of persons know that even the kind comrade was something that the Soviets, right, the Nazis, they used, right? A lot of people don't know this, you know.
Yeah, the
right?
they call it the Flatty Brewer, comrade,
Right.
Marxist Lenin, yeah.
If I always tell people, try and read Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a book that everyone should read once you're interested in politics. It's a nice little book to read, right?
I read it.
Yeah, because even with Hitler attacked his own building, his own, you know, to make it seem as if it was the other party doing this. And even with like I said, even with Goebbels, his whole handbook and everything, if you realize, even with the PNP, they create these fancy slogans like "time come" and all of that, and they stick to their message that they stick to that all the time. And here's my problem with some of these MPs. And when I said at the JLP, somehow, you know, they used to say that, oh, we're the PR party, but somehow they have managed to hijack us being the PR party, and they have turned it around, right? And my problem with somebody is, with the party right now is that they're not they're not sending out the information like they should. I feel like right now, every single MP and councillor, yes, I'm not care if you don't like an MP, I'm not care if you don't like a councillor, but you see, at this point in time, where, I mean, this 2025 election, you know, it's a make or breaking point for Jamaica, and it's a serious election that's coming up, you know. And I don't think a lot of persons realize this. Yeah. And yes, I like to see the constituency updates and everything, but at the same time, when them do them video one, if you put it, all right, talk about heart, put some sell to the people, say, hey, the government is doing this, the government is doing that. Put those in your with the time over again.
Narrative,
right? Yeah. So sometimes these things, they get even lodged in your subconscious mind too. It's a form of brainwashing, you know. It's brainwashing people, because let me tell you something. I always say the PNP is like a cult. The PNP is like a cult. Right? And if you looked at the Nazi party, it was basically, a lot of brainwashed people. They were cultists. They were cultists. Right. And it doesn't matter if you're a Christian, and sometimes I even have to wonder, like, how Christians support the PNP party. When you get up and you blatantly lie, and you make these lies and you repeat these lies over and over again, it's just disgusting. Yep. I remember with the incident with the Prime Minister, when there were some police presence in the area, right? Yeah, it was all over. This relative of mine, my uncle, he's a comrade. My uncle by marriage, not blood. Let me just make that clear. My family are Laborites, but he came up with some little idiot argument that the comrades were circling around in their WhatsApp group, saying that Juliet and Andrew fight, and how I wrote a name the power on the bank account, and the help of the call police. And I'm just like, how is it that you are a Christian? You are a big 70-year-old man, you're a Christian, and these are the type of things that they circulate. Right?
The Prime Minister wasn't even in the country at the time.
Jen, it goes. I heard even more. I hear that a gun Juliet draw on the man.
Ah, God, there we go.
Let's not discuss that because that's sleep.
And I see this, and that is, and as I said, this PNP, the only thing they run with is rumors, propaganda, and lie.
Exactly.
Chen, we need you to come on our live more often, girl.
Shen has been mashing up Twitter, you know. Hey, you don't know Shen, Shen's a general over there.
You must join us more regular. There's that girl named Polly on TikTok. Me sent a message to her the other day and said, come and join our blogger, be a blogger. And she said, why is it timing and stuff like that? She said she will make the time.
Make sure everybody follow her.
Follow what? Politics and sports. So let me just
follow everybody.
We need you guys. We need everybody can have an
all hands on deck now, you know, because this, as you said, this election is Jamaica Breaking.
Come more regular. We need you on our live. But we're going to start.
I didn't hear a while ago, Ken, because there was some noise in the background. What did you say?
No, I said to Shen, we need to have people like her on our live more often because we have to have people who have this know-how in certain areas. We don't want to have people just talking and going overboard. We need people with facts. We need people to come straight, give a nice short dossier of certain things and not to stray away from the conversation. And that's what we need. We need input in our conversation, and that's what we need. We don't need to go on live and start to curse and call these names, and we don't need that. We don't want to go off our track. We need to focus, stay focused.
Because Ken, I made a post on Twitter a couple months ago. You guys, everybody's supposed to know John Pollock and this other girl, Grace.
Oh God!
And I said, laborites only need to leave idiot John and Grace alone, right? Because they are giving their views, and it's. Let me tell you something. It's something that I observe with them. You know, I observe this with them. You see, John. I have him on mute now, but you see, John will post one thing, and then the laborites them under him post and yam up themselves and are cussing, oh, your foot stink and whatever, and if I never tough time, I'm just like, come on, that's not necessary. And when you look, you will have like 5 comrades who like John posts, but underneath it, laborites are cuss John, and then they're quote tweeting it. Yeah. Right, so you're literally amplifying his views, right? You're making everybody seeing the propaganda that he is posting
here. That them just send out the more.
Exactly, because let's face it, Marsh John and Miss Joyce run a corner. Them don't give a crap about what John wants upon Twitter. They don't give a crap. They want to know how the government are going to make their lives better. They want to know what is going on in the country, which road are going to fix, how them are get water, how the community are get light. So I said we should be promoting. I mean, I follow GIS, I repost my stuff. I repost mostly from MPs, right? And Andrew and those government agencies that are putting out the news, because I don't argue comments on Twitter, because I said argue them is like, I'm killing my brain cells. I just block them. I just block them.
I mean, I think you block them like me. As me see them, I block them.
Exactly. So because even sometimes if we say someone sent me something, I'm like, oh, I blocked that person. I'm not going to sit down and argue with them.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Because one thing with that John fella, I'm telling you, man. I tell you.
And they need to ban him from radio stations.
Him so annoying, and the worst
him dangerous.
The worst thing in the politics, the man posts pictures saying, "Look at me, I'm going to church every Sunday." I'm gonna mute him too. Thanks to that idea.
No man, him dangerous. I've already and
but politics, I've been saying for a long time, we need to coordinate. Even if all of us have to come together, drum up some fun, let the bloggers even go on a little retreat somewhere and coordinate, plan, and then come back to us and be in a group, or with a WhatsApp group, And then if we do that, whether it is once a month, we have people who can sponsor it. And
yeah, we plan that thing again.
We need to do that. I have a place in St. Andrews where they can meet and everything, so that's not a problem. So
Hold on, Deacon. Make me shout out to. Me never see him. Oral, big up yourself. You do a wonderful job, my boss. A long time you're there, on it. I don't know if you want to come yell you, but me always see your man. I always do your work.
But you're right, man. Actually, we need to start ignoring these people. Stop giving them oxygen. Stop giving them oxygen.
Yes, because let me tell you, man, the PNP are very much coordinated. And if you realize sometimes when they're posting certain things, you know, they're so stupid, they don't even change up the language or anything. It's the same thing. Just as how you're dropping in a WhatsApp group, right? They run with it. So that is why sometimes I even have to, you know, message some neighbors. I listen to my man, delete the comment.
Yeah,
don't pay them any mind.
But we tired to tell them, so don't go panic.
Philippines say the same thing all the time.
We post something and nobody never look funny, but once them put up something,
because
just do it more good than harm.
You see, the thing is, the government is already getting a fight from the media. We all know Gleaner and exactly civil society. They're gonna keep they're not gonna show certain things on the news. Certain things that are positive will never come on the 7 o'clock news. So the time we spend cursing comrades, I don't even watch their lives. I don't watch their lives. I don't watch their videos. And you know, I was trying. I mean, I've been reporting Andre Stevenson's videos on account for a while now, but you know, you need more than one person, you know. But like I said, we have a lot going against us, and that is why we can't waste any time. We just have to stay on message, promote what the Prime Minister is doing, what the other MPs are doing, highlight, you know. Even with Tufton posted a new a new health center, I think in Ed's conference today. Things like those we need to continue posting, because the TVJ now posted, Gleaner now posted crimes going down in the country, and it will never make the front page of the Gleaner.
Only Observer posted today.
Right? And the thing about the media and the thing about Gleaner is that, you know, they're trying so hard to bring down the JLP that they don't even realize that in doing so, trying to bring down the party, trying to bring down our leader, you are creating this negative image of Jamaica overall. And they are scaring away potential investors too, because if me have a bag of money and me I look, all right, where me can invest, and I'm seeing all these negative things about Jamaica, why should I invest my money in Jamaica? And in doing so, in pushing away investors away from the country, how in God's name are people going to get employment? How are we going to have a robust economy? Right? So they're doing so much damage to the country, because a lot of people fail to realize, you know, it's not the government's job to create jobs. It's the government's job to create the environment where investors will come in, right, and employ people. So if we spread all kind of stuff because we don't like Andrew and whatever, right, and we create this negative image of the country, how the backside are we going to, how the PNP are going to manage it? You think investors are going to come in even if they should vote out and come in?
It come like, you know,
but it's funny that because the Prime Minister image globally, people love him. Everybody love him.
Look at the welcome he got in India.
Exactly. Exactly. Only in Jamaica, our people alone don't like we own. I don't understand. And they want to send them out for the Englishman.
You see, Dark Knight, it's not a matter of life, you know, as Chen was saying. they're using their playbook. It's not they know what is going on in the country. You know, anything they don't know, but they don't business. They're spreading a narrative because they want power. They want power, and that's it.
It is playing on people's emotion. It is a psychological thing to brainwash them, keep them in this nasty slum. You know, they will always be in this state of mind where, Lord, things not get any better and whatever, right? Get them to sell them forth, Philip and nothing, you know.
Shen, I heard you say something earlier, Shen, and you said, you know, you don't understand how Christian support these things, and it is so true. How can a Christian back a man who is still like day in, day out, them live like, them dream like, them sleep like, and then just everything they do is a damn lie. And you say they serve God and back them pastors.
A lot of these pastors are PNP.
A lot of these pastors are.
And that is why the government got such a fight, especially during COVID, because a lot of pastors were telling their flock, oh, don't take the vaccine, and the vaccine can do this and the vaccine can do that. Right? As a pastor, you should never allow for anyone to even know that you're a PNP or you're a JLP. So that is a number one thing. So
again, if you are a pastor, you must go by the Bible, because the Bible says you must obey those who sit over you as ruler, and you must pray for them.
And also, let me point out something. You know, I love to say something some of these pastors too. You know, say I never just the other day we are dealing about quarantine and them something there. It's right in the Bible. Because right when the children of Israel, they were in the desert, right?
Exactly.
And even when someone had leprosy, you had to even stay away from the. Remember, you have to come out of the city. You know, once them even if them suspect say you have leprosy, you stand by yourself, right? You have to stand by yourself. If you realize say, oh, and a leprosy, then the priest have to examine you or whatever, and then you say, all right, you're clean and you come back. Right, so it's not just yesterday or today. Quarantine and these things are happening.
And when you find out that you have leprosy and you're leaving the city, you have to shout and with it on the top of your voice. Unclean.
Unfortunately, it's not only leprosy. Female on their cycles have to be expelled as well. Unfortunately. So
when they come with them,
I mean,
narrative and what am I telling you, man? It is just sad the way when you see your countries moving forward, and I am 56 now, and me look and say, well, and it makes me see my country, and me go Jamaica and look at Jamaica, and Jamaica is like a paradise now, and it is disgusting to hear these people talk.
Well, I'm a little bit younger than you. I just turned 30 in June, but let me tell you something. I live in Southwest Clarendon, another PNP slum, and the first time I saw any roads or anything being fixed in my life, my little young life, was in 2007 when Bruce Golding came in and they had started the program JDIP. Let me tell you something. There's a road called Fogar Road, and I remember they had put up a sign, you know, those JDIP signs that they would have put up to indicate that this road is going to be rehabilitated.
Yes.
They had one there, and let me tell you something. When PNP win and then go take JD money, go fund Jeep, it's signed just till they eventually take it down. Till this day, Fogar Road no fix. And I actually saw somebody talking about it the other day, and I'm just like, it's never going to be fixed. My member apartment is both on cousins, and he is just ridiculous. I remember one time
I talk about him all the time, man.
You see, with I mean, people come from Clarendon, we know both same family, but I remember once I said something to him on Twitter, and he was basically telling me to go do his job. That's what he was saying. Indirectly, he was saying, "Oh, I should go tag Economic Growth Council and NAA and all these type of stuff." This man does nothing really for the constituency from Noel R. Scott time until now. I remember one election when I was young, right in the middle of the night, they were patching roads under Noel Arscott tenure. And even with Cousins, I realized something with him. A lot of these PNP MPs, they are not telling people out of spite, they are not telling people what the government is doing. And even a couple months ago when the Prime Minister came to Clarendon, he went to Pernell Charles Jr. constituency and he gave away a house there. And he came to Southwest and he met with Lothan Cousins. And if you should check Cousins' social media, whether Facebook or even IG, you will never see a picture of what happened, the handing over with the Prime Minister and the person is in his constituency. Why? Because they don't want people for sure say, oh, the Prime Minister come and give away a house here and persons are benefiting. They won't do it. Enough of them don't even tell their constituents about the programs that Heart is having, and you know, they don't.
Yeah, they're saying it's a JLP thing now. They must say it's a JLP program. That's what they must spread now.
That's why when the MP get their money to spend in the constituency, they don't spend it because they want it run. Because they know they have the vote because that's their garrison. So therefore, they I don't know what they do with this money, because when you check most of those, especially Kingston and St. Andrews, the garrison that PNP have, none of them is developed. None of them.
Yeah.
And even Lisa constituency, how is it that, you know, the funny thing about her, I find it so funny. She likes to write all these think pieces about how things should be and how government should do this and do that. But yet still she's such a horrible MP because persons are always complaining about her. And you have to wonder, she's been there for so long. She has one of the safest PNP seats in the country. And when you see that she only win it by 32 votes, is that these people don't realize that there must be something wrong. The pictures and the tight up pants and the crop shirts, you know, must be something wrong. But like I said, people are just so psychologically, I don't know.
I said it before, you know. I said it before and I say it again. PNP vote is the only vote in the world that's guaranteed. Well, yeah. The only vote that's guaranteed, no matter what them do or what them MP do, PNP I go vote for them anyway.
And true, man. Look here what them do are true, because them find a way to get to the people the night before election or the day before election or something, and then go vote. Me sit there West Poland, brother, me see man cause, oh, me nah go no election, me nah vote tomorrow, I'm working at a polling station. And that the man first come vote. The next morning. And when he come like police, I say, big man, oh, you tell me last night when you damn me not tell me say you nah vote. Man, see you can't follow me, man. Me can't make it come in over.
Try to talk that. Hey, them people easy, man.
But brother, we just have to build a team, brother, and I think we have a strategy. We're going at this direction.
Yeah, we're going to. I think
we have to build a team and support who we can support, who is living in Jamaica, and make them. And because I am going to find election.
After conference, we're going to up the ante. That's all we're going. So we know much more after conference. And then
I think we need to build an overseas WhatsApp group for all of us who is overseas.
Yeah, we need to build a general WhatsApp group actually. Coordinate everything, let the bloggers, if we want to sponsor the bloggers to go on retreat, coordinate things, plan things, come back. As somebody said today, we have a topic on each ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance, Social Security.
Ken, I think that is a wicked idea.
Yeah.
I think nobody talk about it, just do it. Just have a week, 1 week per ministry.
Yeah, that's what we need to do, and we are going to do.
Don't talk about it, just do it, because it's a really good idea.
we'll get there. We just want to wait till conference, see what come out of it, and then from there we'll go on the road.
Anyway, I'll get some rest now because I have to leave my house 4 o'clock a man and New Jersey is very cold.
We're in Jersey. Jersey. I normally come to Jersey, you know. Teaneck, Hackensack.
Yeah, no, I live close to Hackensack. Little Ferry, very close to Hackensack.
Okay, I know. Yeah.
But I work over in Teaneck.
Oh, you work in Teaneck. So you go Parama Small and Parama Small.
Huh?
You go down to Parama Small?
No, me take the 80 I take the 80 for about 10 minutes and me live about 15 minutes from my job. So not far. Not really far.
That's when we come New Jersey, I practice me always go shop.
I cheaper place in New Jersey.
Yeah man, practice me, yeah.
Yeah, true. Cheapest place in New Jersey.
No pay no tax down there.
Yeah man, you want a price, you get it.
Yeah.
That's I get it, you know.
You know man, them Dominican Republic, them Spanish up here, them is
me say I get to a New Jersey. If you have some place on there, you not want to go down there, brother.
You ever go Jersey City?
No, me not go Jersey City.
You said that's like Trenchtown and Jonestown. You tell you one. Oh, sorry. Hey, no, they're terrible. America, I told a lot of people don't really. Them go America and go New York, Florida, and all them places, certain parts, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. But if them really go in certain area, them really realize how bad and nasty America is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, some place America, brother, you know, I'm at Jamaica Paradise still, for real. Yeah, for real.
I live in England for so many years and I'm back home now. And I tell you something. I just because soon as 2015 we come down campaign and when 16 JLP win, we just pack up and come back home. And we know I run back again, go nowhere. Yes, I'm here stay and we have to get a third term, fourth term, fifth term and build up the country, make me feel proud because when I was working in a company as a financial institution, sometimes when it would come out about Jamaica, hold my head down. Because people used to say to me at work, I look like Jamaica have no money in their pocket to buy a pint of beer. And I said, that's how we gone. We go. But now me feel proud.
Yeah, man, I have some friends at Jamaica, you know what, come down last week, them gonna for a funeral at Portmore. And them call me yesterday, them say, boy, Jamaica nice.
Yeah, winner, come in, winner.
Good night, everybody. How you all doing?
Good night, winner.
Good night.
Why, me as a man, I have to do my research, because I love to read. No.
Winner, see them have you open and say all kind of shit about you. And splice it. You know, see it.
Where? No, sir. Who then?
I say, yeah, they are Canada, that's what CRN nurse and all them crap. You never see it.
I'm a medical technologist by profession. I'm very proud to be a medical technologist. I mean, 70% of our lives that I'm very proud to be a medical technologist. I mean, I'm becoming by my hands, so I am loving that. So they can splice and make whatever video they want to make. What they can do is attack my character or my integrity. They can splice whatever videos they want to splice. I don't really care. But as it pertains to the Integrity Commission, it is a commission that is founded upon laws. So they act within the permits or the confinements of the law, and they must act according to what the law states. And based on the law that governs the Integrity Commission on how reports are treated, it is, in my opinion and belief, as well as others, that the Prime Minister statutory declaration for 2021, 2022, and the others that were outstanding must be certified.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, somebody will be going to prison, and it is not the Prime Minister. I want you all to listen to this this information given in Parliament by the Director of Investigation himself. Let me bring it up. Give me a second. I hope you guys will be able to hear me.
Thank you very much, Chairman and members. Good morning. The provision that governs the tabling of reports in Parliament, or the treatment of reports generally, is Section 54 of the Integrity Commission Act. Only certain reports are required under that section to be sent to Parliament for tabling. So, for example, if during the course of the investigation, the Director of Investigation is of the view that there is insufficient evidence to continue the investigation, what happens is that the Director will terminate the investigation and issue findings to the Commission. That report is not tabled. The other category of investigation reports would be investigation reports that contain findings which are considered to be a breach of code or any law or an act of corruption. That category of reports sent to the Commission would thereafter be tabled. If it's only a breach of code, would go directly to the commissioners, then to Parliament. If there is a breach of law and there is a recommendation to be sent to the Director of Corruption Prosecution, the report is referred on to the Director of Corruption Prosecution together with the file, and having completed her ruling, that would be sent back to the Commission, and it is then sent to Parliament for tabling. I am not sure if I should comment on the report, but that is the general.
So, according to the Director of Investigation, how reports are treated, based on the 170-page documents, the Prime Minister did not breach any code, did not breach any law, was not found to be doing any form of illicit enrichment, and by the virtue of those confinements of law, the Prime Minister's statutory declaration should have and will be certified.
Certified, yes.
It is not based on the opinion of one man or the opinion of anybody. It's what the law says and what the law dictates. Now, if the Integrity Commission has an issue with the law, they need to tell that to the Parliament and give their grounds for which they have an issue with the law so that the law can be amended. But for now, as the law stands, the Integrity Commission must and will certify the Prime Minister's statutory declaration. And I'm sure that when the Prime Minister goes to court, his grievances will be addressed and his statutory declaration will be mandated to be certified. So that stable enough, there's no room in the law for any. So whatever report that is sent to Parliament is final. So making a recommendation is nonsense. Right? The law does not constitute or give the Integrity Commission that mandate to send anything in. It's only during the course of an investigation they can seek the assistance of PAJ and FID and the other regulatory bodies that the law dictates that they can give. Also, the Commission Act did not give the IC any mandate or the responsibility to sue a foreign source.
You're breaking up.
Oh, sorry. The Integrity Commission Act did not give the IC the mandate to seek a foreign power or source to investigate anybody. So they opt outside of the Data Protection Act as well as the act that mandates the Integrity Commission.
Yeah, agree.
So we are sure that when they go to court, the Prime Minister's grievances will be heard and will be accepted because no form of illicit enrichment was found. And then, when you look at the Prime Minister's as income or total asset over the 5 years in question, 3 out of the 5 years, we actually saw a decrease in its assets.
Asset, yeah. I saw it already. I saw it.
2, the $1.9 million that they said the Prime Minister illicitly enriched himself with is negligent in compared to his asset and should not have triggered or do not meet the mandate of illicit enrichment. But when you look at the sums of that 1.9 moving up the monies across several accounts, make it be known that the Prime Minister only have 9, not 28 as they have stipulated.
Yeah,
because
9
from what he was cleaning up. Some of those are not his mother's, father's secretary was counted among those. Some are dormant accounts, some are inactive accounts, some accounts don't even have $1 inside here.
But we know that at SSL, when he deposits his investment from $1,000 and he get his returns of 40-something thousand $. When you have those accounts, you have to open an account for that money to go through it.
Yes, because that is an equity account. You need a bank account for that money to be moved.
Money to go through it, because they will inform you that your thing is matured now. Where do you want to go? Okay, I'm going to open an NCB account, and you put it in the account. But they have it running to say that he opened an account with no money, and next day he take $143,000 out of it. These people are so stupid.
It's madness, bro. It's madness. The IC broke several protocols, break several laws, and these guys are just, I see this nonsense they're talking about, they're not accountable to Parliament. The only institution
accountable to
the Parliament, that's what the law says. The only institution within the Integrity Commission that is not governed by anybody or any person is the Director of Public Prosecution. That is independent. Nobody governs that. Nobody can dictate. That department does not report to anybody.
But I guess the PMP then pay some private people to investigate the Prime Minister.
I mean, hear what? You can do that, and you can send that as a part of your normal, because remember, anybody can call the ICA report. But if it is found that the Prime Minister data protection our data privacy was breached by this investigation, somebody got prison.
Yeah, because here what my take on this, winner. The head of state, you calling a foreign entity to go into the man's personal account. And that's what I can't really get to that one. Which the Prime Minister, nobody in the government doesn't know. You're calling up a private forensic audit to do that, and nobody in the country doesn't know that you're going to the Prime Minister's personal details for it to filter around the world. That's damage to the country now.
So that number one, I know if I the same people and private people and use.
Because my take is that report should be attached to the appendix on the Integrity Commission report to Parliament, and attached. That means to say they send an incomplete report to Parliament. Forget the incomplete report. Reading the report, that report should throw in the garbage bin, because there's so much mistakes in it. There's so much miscalculation. There's a lot of things that you have to say that's not on board. That should even be tabled in Parliament because it's incomplete. Proper media, come in.
Hey, good night, Labor Rights. How you doing?
Godson, good night, Godson.
Let's up, So today Chaps them play a tape. I forgot the virgin name. He said he was employed by he was said to Anthony Hilton that he was employed, for the want of a better word, by a comrade in arm to do the investigation in his company. And this was also conveyed to a JDF person who was born and grew and bred and lived in St. Lucia, who was the head of our MIU. You can you imagine? A St. Lucian is the head of our MIU intelligence unit. He too play a role in investigating. He too play a role in investigating ADMAT because you know the company was birthed in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and him confess and him talk. So Anthony Hilton was saying, oh, we don't know nothing about this. This should be breaking news. So while I was there talking, the asked him, said, then did you present this report to the opposition? And he said, yes. And the opposition in turn presented to the IC. So we want to know if it's the one and same person who did both investigation. Or was this person engaged? By whom? How was the terms of reference? What was the scope of his investigation and all of this? So 3 times them investigate the man.
Yeah,
all them do, I dig up dirt. They was trying to dig up dirt and come up with nothing.
But they compile all they compile all his report in one, and that's where they make the big mistake.
Yes, that's what they do. Why this them and then in the house talk about them no answer to nobody. I tell you to this Joe Emagi. Just like how we said they are answer to the parliament. They are answerable to the parliament.
The problem, you know, God said with it, we know what money was paid to those men.
Yes, you know, see the man all take all money for we budget them for spend for all lend them friends. You know, see that too.
I see to those men. Something go right.
You know, see the man take the money where for roll the IC.
The problem is that privacy, that's what they are going to
Let me read the law. Just a second. This is the Integrity Commission Act, Section 4A and B. It says the commission, which is the Integrity Commission, shall is a very powerful word in the law. You know, shall means final, right?
Doing word, yeah, that's a doing word.
So the commission shall, subject to Section 38, 34. 3 and 36. 4. Be ultimately responsible and accountable to Parliament for all matters relating to the function of the commissioner, and monitoring and report to Parliament on the operation and effectiveness of the provision of this Act. It says the subject of 34.3, which talks about the power of the Director of Public Prosecution. That person is not subjected under this particular law. No. That person is independent of Parliament or anybody.
The final.
So they're court. They're the court within Integrity Commission. So you can't have a person governing the court, right? So that is in law. So anybody who have a challenge, Section 4A and B of the Integrity Commission Act tells you who the Integrity Commission reports to. So labor rights need to inform themselves.
Can you repeat that again?
It is Section 4A and B.
Can you read that section, please?
It said the Commission shall, subject to Section 34.3 and 36.4, be ultimately responsible and accountable to Parliament for all matters relating to the function of the Commissioner, and monitor and report to Parliament on the operation and effectiveness of the provision of this Act. So the entire operation, how them function, the type of work them do.
Right, but it didn't speak about questioning them in terms of an investigation.
Remember, how is that, man?
Godson, mute your mic.
Remember, there's a God clause, and the laws within the provision that speaks about privacy and confidentiality. They only speak on reports that are tabled. Outside of that, they can't speak on any form of investigation. So Parliament can come and question them about an investigation. They can question them about a report that was tabled. But you have to remember the judiciary rule now. Once that is gone before the court, they cannot comment on it. That is why
I know that. I understand. The question I would like to ask is, they are allowed to go outside, right, to do like how they went abroad to get a forensic auditor to come in. And
I don't see any provision in the law that gives them that authority.
Yes, I did.
Yes, winner. It
Yes,
is there.
I read
is
it.
there.
I did.
It
I
is
can't.
there. Yeah, man.
Yes.
It is there.
Which section? We need to find.
Oh my
I
God!
can-
Oh,
My
actually, one
question
phone
in
me
the
up, tick,
meantime.
panning out. All right,
My
go on,
question.
Tom. Let me see if I find it and come back.
My question in the meantime is, and which it didn't state, do they have to go through all the legitimate agency in Jamaica before you can take it outside? Or do you just get up and say, you know what, I'm going to hire international forensic auditor? You get what I mean? Because I would believe that if you're going to go outside, you should go through all of the agency outside, inside of Jamaica first.
Yeah, I agree with you, Marcia, because remember that you have like Price Waterhouse.
You do have forensic auditors here in Jamaica too.
They should use those internal companies
Exactly.
first before they go external. And then you got a foreign entity who is investigating the head of state.
I asked that question. Thank you, Ken.
Information out to the world, and that is dangerous.
I asked that question from the first day it happened. And I said, and somebody said to me, which was on the live, JLP live, and the person said, well, he's not above the law. And I said, no, I am not saying that.
He's the head of state.
Exactly.
He's the head of state. You cannot do that.
Exactly the point.
Country. You put in your laundry out there, and you don't know what international
exactly.
That's treason.
That's
cannot
the
do
first
that.
question I asked. I said, how can you carry people from another country to investigate your own prime minister?
Because all those data is all over the place, and you don't know who is selling it to who.
How can you?
I think I found it.
Oh, you found it now? Yeah, there's a part in there.
It's talk about section 13, a request for the sharing or exchange of information pursuant to a memorandum of understanding or other agreements between the Commission and a foreign agency pursuant to section 12B shall be made through the Financial Investigation Division. So
did they go? Okay.
That is the question. They would have to first go through FID and FID.
Exactly the point. That's what I asked.
Based on the evidence, would have said, yes, go ahead and look for the investigation because you need the help.
Exactly.
But hold on now, Ken. If you did that and got the information, go ahead from FID. You got the forensic auditor. The forensic auditor say, okay, me not find nothing. But you're going back to the same people who you.
Right, and that is what I was going to say. Yeah, that is what I was going to say.
Back to them again. That's insulting.
Because remember saying, no, they said they started off with the FID first, right? We didn't hear of what that, if they had a conclusion. They started off with the FID, then they moved to the forensic. So they didn't say if they started off and then they stop it and hire somebody outside. What was it before? What was it? Because when you get the report, and sorry, this is where it is so unfair. Remember, when the report comes in, what's the other guy name? There was one of them who got the report first, right? They have to look at it first.
That is Beresford.
Beresford. That's the name I was trying to remember. Thank you. Thank you, Google. I'm not talking to you right now.
He was saying one thing, and Kevin Stevenson was saying something else.
Hold on,
so
Beresford got the report first, right? He looked through it and then he can refer it. If he sees if there is stuff in it that he's not comfortable with, he can. That's when he referred to Kevin, because he's the investigator, right? So Kevin look at it now and says, "Ha, there is actually stuff in here." So after he looked through it, he now said, no, we need help. They hire FID, right? After they look around and says, no, something is adding up. Let us hire FID. They hire FID. For some reason, I don't know what happened to that FID report. Somebody made a decision, or maybe what FID said to them, they weren't comfortable with it. So they decided to hire an international auditor.
But Marcia, when they do that, it's FID should be the entity that go to overseas entity to investigate, and not the Integrity Commission. If you follow procedures,
I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said something, right? Investigation. Yeah,
they have to go to FID.
FID, exactly, winner. Because here, as a person who do investigation in auditing for years with a big international accounting firm in Europe. You see, that's why a lot of people got mixed up. You collect information, you get information. That when you get information, that doesn't mean that you're investigating. You're collecting investigation.
Exactly.
And when you get that information and you satisfy, you know what, that this the right to go to an investigation.
Exactly.
Then you start to investigate according to the report that you get back. So the director of investigation, they doesn't do investigation, they put soldiers out there that do investigation, submit the report. He goes, read the report, and say, you know what, that deserves an investigation. You go to FID and say, this is what's going on, and FID will look into it and say, you know what, and they do their little summary investigation, preliminary investigation, and after they do that, they say, you know what, we need more expert on this, and then they can go to Jamaica to private accounting firm, forensic firm in Jamaica like PwC, KPMG, etc., whatever accounting firm they use. And if they can't get nobody from there, then they can go overseas. But FID have to do it because they are an entity of the Minister of Finance, and they do all those criminal investigations. And that's what is confusing me, that they didn't follow the right protocol to do this investigation.
No, they jumped the gun.
Yeah.
They jumped the gun in with Andrew, and they just went, zoops, let's take it overseas because something is not adding up. And even after those people concluded, and why is that report? Where is that report?
It should be an appendix in the report that they submit to Parliament.
Where is it?
It should be there. It attached as attachment. You cannot, and that should be, even now the report submit, we should know who that investigation accounting firm was. Or the forensic, it should be in the report. So therefore that report was incomplete, and by reading the report through and through, analyze it, do my study of it, go through it 4 times. I've been through that report, and that report to me is supposed to throw in the garbage bin because that wasn't compiled by no accountant.
But that accountant, I don't know who she is, that the one that was breaking it down, and she was talking about the intra and intra.
411 she named 411.
Intra account that come for companies. Intra account that's between companies and the companies what you have.
Right. How is it? And this is I don't understand much of some of what how she get to the figure. But she was saying that how they use the how they combine the income of both companies.
Well, if you go to that and read the whole that page, what happened is that they miscalculate. They compile all the figures in one and make a report on it, and which is what's wrong because the calculation is totally wrong.
Correct, that's what she was saying.
They compile everything in one, which is completely wrong. You cannot do that. And a company stand on its own. It doesn't stand on an individual, it stand on its own footings.
But Ken, you're saying stand on your own. Say Kevin Stevenson determined that Positive Jamaica is a charity without giving the declarant, Andrew in this case, to defend it and make it clear that him said doing that. No, it is not a charity.
No, but you...
Hold on. And when persons check the company office of Jamaica, Positive Jamaica is not really, no, not the company office, the Benevolent and Society place, I forgot the right name for it. It is not a charity. It is a company.
Yeah.
You see how you must there? And even Dennis Strong said he read Appendix 2 of the report about Andrew on this. You know what the man said? The man said when him read it and think his opinion that Andrew Holness should be charged. He should be charged for impoverished, illicit, whatever, and bad investment and becoming of a prime minister. Just like what we said earlier, the man over the last 3 years or the 5 years, nothing the man earn. And the man said for a prime minister that shouldn't happen. But them people are brother, them depend on which hunt. We don't want no more glasses to see it. But we shall hear all what we need to hear when the case go to court.
But that's if the investigator is doing proper investigation, if somebody claims something to be a charity, wouldn't I first check to make sure that what I'm describing as a charity is a charity?
Yeah, because
and he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He never do that.
Not only that.
Also, if you're accusing me of illicit enrichment, $1.9 million, don't you have to tell me that that figure so that I can justify?
That's what I was
going to say. That again, he never do. The man was on a frolic of his own because
that's what I was going to say here.
And he must say so.
Go ahead, dear. Go ahead. Who's talking?
Different. The two of them now correspond. Anything when him give pant on them just sign off on it.
Lawyers and they don't know nothing about figures, and that's what I'm saying. Because if I'm doing that investigation and I see according to the volume of investment that was made and 1.9 million Jamaican dollars, I will just bypass that because.
Hold on, guys. Well, Ken, sorry, cutting on. This is very. Somebody just pointed out something to me that is very damning.
Yep.
When you go to 12 of the Integrity Commission Act, it says, subject to the provision of this act, the Commission may, with the approval of the Minister, enter into a memorandum of understanding or other agreements with a competent authority or a foreign agency whose functions are similar to the functions of the Integrity Commission under this act. Well, hold on. Dark Knight, the story is not talking to like other integrity commission that are overseas and not specifically an entity that does financial investigation. I'm not getting a financial investigation, right?
So if you read 13, Winner, if you read 13 again, 13 says that
what page?
Section 13 of the Act. If you read it again, it makes specific reference to 12B, which talks about a foreign entity and a foreign agency. But you can't get to 12B unless you use 12 itself. So you need the approval of the minister. This is my understanding of it. You need the approval of the minister and the FID. So it's not just, you can't just approach a foreign entity by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm. That's my point.
That's my understanding.
Let me read it from 12.
Read 13 again, and then it make reference to 12B.
Okay, all right. A request for the sharing or exchange of information pursuant to a memorandum of understanding or other agreements between the Commission and a foreign agency pursuant to Section 12B. So we go to 12, a foreign agency whose functions are similar functions of a commission under the Act. And we go to 12, subject to this provision of the Act, the Commission may, with approval of the Minister, enter into a memorandum of understanding or agreement with the competent authority.
Yeah, but we know my problem with that is...
You need the Minister of National Security. That is one. And you need the Financial Investigation Division, two of them in agreement to say, okay, yes, what you brought for before me.
because of national security. That's what it is. You know, the point. I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, because you see, even notwithstanding, you got a foreign entity to come in as a forensic investigator, auditors. Do you know also that even though you got that entity to come in, that doesn't mean it's an investigation in there. You collated information to start an investigation. And sometimes you do that and it's not real investigation. You're getting information, and then from that information that is gathered, then you can proceed with an investigation. And that's the thing, that's what a lot of people who say they are accountants and not auditors, and that's the conclusion they come, which is wrong.
So listen to this.
Yeah, go on, Marcia.
I was going to say, listen to this part. I don't know which section it is, but it says number 37. The director of investigation may, for the purposes of performing the functions under this section, A, make preliminary inquiries as he consider necessary, and B, consult with any public body. So
and
that's
the word inquiries here.
And preliminary.
Preliminary inquiry, not investigation. And
Not
that's what a lot of
investigation.
people
Yes.
get wrong. It
Yes.
doesn't mean that is investigation, prelim inquiries.
So they
That
can
doesn't
ask
mean-
you for information. They
Yeah,
can call you and ask you. That doesn't mean they're investigating you.
And then after you do that prelim inquiry and you get all information that you need, and you say, okay, this deserves an investigation, and then you start the investigation. And that's what you used to do, because you see, when you have the director of investigation doesn't go out on the field and investigate. When they do that prelim inquiry, they collate all information, write what they have to write, the report, take it back in, and determine if this is warrant an investigation. And that's what a lot of people and the press is getting wrong, because they don't know about accounting, auditing system, or you investigate. It's like you go, your police, as detective will go, get information, get the report, and if it warrants an investigation, they will go and investigate. So it's stages, it takes stages before you get to an investigation, and that's what my problem is. And nobody's picking up on this, and I'm just
the director of investigation did say that he will go and do their mining of information, and if the mining of information warrant
an investigation.
Yes, warrant an illicit enrichment probe, then he will go ahead and do that and notify the person. Now, what did he find of original? Well, so he said he found the 4 accounts. Okay,
that
cool.
doesn't warrant an investigation, because they shouldn't even go into those accounts, because it's not the Prime Minister's account.
Exactly.
And he got explanation as to the account, what they were.
Exactly.
Guys,
so the commission, he should have gone back to the commissioners.
It's covering there, that Data Protection Act, and that's what they breached.
And this is why, sorry, who is that?
Good night.
Oh, that are you again? Are you Petal?
No. Does sound like Petal?
Oh, Lashika.
So I've been listening to the convo, right? And there is this thing that I picked up. Is it that the IC engaged the FID initially to say, okay, we did engage them, because remember that they have a memorandum of understanding with the FID. So it's like they must say, all right, we did engage them, and then they went ahead and say, okay, we can get the go ahead to do the forensic auditor internationally. So when you don't want it to come back and bite you in the ass to say that you did not follow the process.
Do your due diligence, exactly.
You didn't do your due diligence. So then just say, all right, we could just engage them for a moment to make it look like we did did follow that process.
But if they did that, what happened to the FID report?
No,
Exactly.
that listen to what I say now. Listen to what I say. It is just a sham.
I know.
It's just a sham to say, okay, I'm just saying, okay, we did this. Probably then just engage them and say, so we wanted to do this and we wanted to do that. But deep down in them heart, remember, say FID is also run by the Minister of Finance. Right?
No, but they're sworn to secrecy. They're sworn to secrecy.
Understandable. But remember, the IC is on a witch hunt and they don't trust nobody. Basically,
That's where witch hunt.
Right? They don't trust nobody, Marcia. Because this is how it is.
Hold on. Allow Lashika to finish her point, because if we keep interrupting her, then our train of thought is gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Right. So I am saying they engage FID briefly. Probably just send them all a notice to say, hey, I want you guys to do an investigation. Maybe they didn't even mention the Prime Minister, but just to tick off that part of it so that they can go to the international forensic auditor so that they can get their audit completed. Right? Because as I mentioned earlier, they have the memorandum of understanding, and based on what you guys just read, in order for you to go externally, you have to do it through an agency that you have the memorandum of understanding with. And that would have been the FID. So that's why they say, all right, let us engage them, send them a notice, and then they go ahead and do their own thing. The next thing that I like to highlight as well, when Warmington say, hey, we want to know how these persons were hired. Was there a procurement process that was done so that these people can be? We really need to know. We really need to know, because that is a very important part of the puzzle. Because when you look, every little dot is being connected. So it is very important, and I close right there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Lashika.
Okay, can I say something then with the first one, what she talks about? I understand what you're saying there, but my point is that from once you ask an agent to do an investigation on any matter, they're supposed to come to a conclusion. You can't just say we're going to use them. This is what I'm thinking. You can't just say, I'm going to use them, just for make reference, and then we switch to somebody else. They must come to a conclusion and say what they found.
But I'm telling you, Marcia, what I'm saying, is that they didn't use it. They just use it as a sham.
But that's what I'm saying. It's wrong.
As a checklist. They just use it as a checklist.
It's wrong,
it is the Prime Minister's lawyers now who are going to dig into it. Okay, you said you went to FID. Where is that report? All right, you moved on for the forensic auditor. Where's that report as well? Where the correct step follows, where the correct procedures follows. So all of that are the Prime Minister lawyer now. If we dig into it, this is why he's going back. Because yes, if me and your little layman can pick up on these little errors right there, then they must have picked it up.
Yeah, and another thing, Lashika. I think you see, there's a lot of protocol to go through when you're doing things like that, because when you're doing things like that to get a forensic audit from overseas, what about those person who is coming to work in the country? Did they get a work permit to come in the country to do these work? Because as a forensic auditor, when you go into a country to work for over 6 months, you have to have some form of work permit from the Ministry of Labor or somebody to come in and do the work. So what channel there's a lot of question that is being unanswered.
Another concern for me is the security of the Prime Minister information.
Thank you. I've been saying that a long time.
That is a big thing for me. That is a very big personal data. Thing. Yeah, it's personal data. Where is the information? What kind of system do these people have? How? Even if, let me tell you something. I work with names. I work with numbers. Right? I can look at a number one time and memorize it. And if that demand a forensic auditor, he can do the same. He can be just as malicious
Exactly.
You hear the prime minister. You hear the prime minister saying, or even other people. You hear them say the scammers that they are not dunce people, and that is one of the things that the call centers, especially in Montego Bay, kind of underestimate. They came up with a rule where they say, "Oh, no pens, no papers, no pencils, nothing," but yet the information was still coming out. These people were memorizing the people them information and take it out. I'm just saying that to say people can memorize people data, and for to be working on one person's data for 6 months, anything can happen. And this data, once it gets out just one place on that black market, it stays there forever.
One thing I can tell you with these forensic international auditors and forensic auditors, they're held to what I said, a high code of conduct when it comes
to because they have a
confidentiality. Extremely. They can
understand that, but I'm saying we don't know who these people are.
No, I know. I understand what you're saying. No, I totally understand what you're saying.
I'm beginning to.
Good night.
No. I'm beginning to, sorry.
Give me a little minute there, me see if me can understand the situation now I go on. The person who do the audit, me do a video and me drop it, and this is what I want uno for the endorse and a ball for. We need to know where it come from, where it live. We need to get the receipt of the money we spend and those things for if that audit from overseas. We need to know who in him, when come from, when belongs to. We need to see the receipt for the money we pay to him and his name was signed to it.
It's a company.
Yes, but we need to get the name of the company and everything. We don't know receipt, we don't see nothing from the integrity commissioner to show that this is what we pay ex-Tom Harry or John to investigate from overseas. So they no can take the damn money pushing out them pocket and interrogate government for integrity when them no have none.
Well, God bless. The reports and everything should be attached with what they submit to Parliament. So that's why I say it's incomplete, because if you do an investigation and you have an outside external entity to come and investigate, and when you finish that investigation, everything should be attached as appendix to the report.
Right, and that's not the funny.
God bless. Hold on. The name of the auditor is in the report, guys. One of the line of argument within where it gives you the date, who was meeting what, it provided the name of the auditor in there. I researched the name of the person, I couldn't find anything.
Research the name again, brother. I make me hear the name. For me, no see no name for no audit company unless I want them at Jamaica.
Is it the name Stephanie Finder Blake? Is that one?
Yes, that name, yeah.
Okay. And she, she's not an overseas auditor. She works with Ministry of Justice.
Right, so we need to know the overseas one, that the one more know. I'm not talking about the Jamaica one where they use. More know the foreign one where they investigate. Come here. Well, let foreign come here.
That's what.
But you can use. But God bless. You can use the Access to Information Act or the IA Access to Information Act form. Download it and then you send it to Integrity Commission. They will have to give it to you.
Give it to you, yeah.
Law, they are mandated under that act to supply you.
Yeah, but do it on the bill for the overseas and the act what they send to the Parliament table.
Hold on. Let me help you. What you're requesting is the report from the auditor.
Overseas, not the auditor Jamaica, overseas one.
Man, the overseas one. The one, the overseas auditor information as well as the report from them. So you can download the form online and request it.
All right. I'll tell you something, guys. I don't know if you must know. You remember Enron?
Yeah.
All right. When Enron was in trouble, right? The CPA, the Certified Public Accountant in America, with the ACA in England, we derived that there was something amiss with them. We reported to the CPA, and the CPA in turn would report it to the American Treasury. They didn't do that. Then there was a big thing on it. I was on a team of auditors who went to America to investigate it. And I have to wait about 6 weeks before I get clearance to go and do it, because I have to have work permit clearance to go and do that audit. And that's would attach now to the same thing that derived from this investigation. If you are going to use that auditors, the Ministry of Labor, you can't just come in the country and do a 6-month audit and go away without getting clearance. Who gave those people clearance to come to the country to work for 6 months? And that's my argument. Who give that? Who give it? Who said to them that, okay, you got a clearance to come? You can't just get an auditor to come in the country and work unless it was Price Waterhouse, and Price Waterhouse have an application to a Price Waterhouse in the United States or in England to come out and do it. That's fine. But it wasn't that way. So therefore, who gave them the clearance to come and work for 6 months to investigate the head of state, get his personal data, and that go international? But don't get me wrong, all these financial institutions have the information. So that's what is mind-boggling to me. So because I don't know if they use international accounting or auditing firm to come and do it. We don't know, because there's nothing to show that they do it, because there's no appendix to the report.
There's a common thread here. There's a common thread, and I'll probably take a different perspective from most of you guys. And I keep saying this ever since.
Is that Ingram?
Yeah, man. No,
yeah, Ingram. Come off of the line, man. Come off. We don't want to hear nothing from you.
No, this is not Mr. Ingram.
Is that Ingram?
Oh, he's on. Hold on.
Right, girl.
No,
we'll
take care of it. No, we'll take care of it.
All right, girl.
All right, girl. Do matter. Hold up.
We'll take care of it.
All right, girl. A Shango, right, girl. Shango.
We'll take care of it. Well, all right. No, let me. No, I'll take this position. All right. Let's follow a common thread. The common thread is, let's look at how Mark Golding got to the position that he's in.
We're not talking about Mark Golding. We're talking about
No. I'm following a trend. I'm saying I'm following a trend. I'm following a trend. Let's look at what he did to gain power in the PMP. Let's look at the history of that. Then let's run the thread through what Mr. Panton, his presentation in Parliament. If you note carefully, there is this attitude that we don't owe you anything. So this is a clandestine organization investigating public persons. I can never imagine anything more reckless and out of sort than this. Mr. Panton gave us the impression as if he's running up his private company, and therefore is under no obligation to explain anything to bring clarity to what people are concerned about pertaining to what he's paid to do. That is the sort of contempt and disdain that we pay this man for. And I'm saying this, we can always reason and logic and shoot it out. At the end of the day, look at the results that we are getting. These people have a plot, and I coined it this way. Mark Golding have hired hands in the IC, and he's designing a plot. I call them noosemen, and they are designing the plot. They are designing the noose to put around Andrew's neck, and Mark have the end of the rope. You notice what he did when he walked out of Parliament? He held a press conference. That was the thing that they wanted to lead Andrew to the gallows. People, this is the playbook of PJ Patterson. It is no different. Mark don't have a brand. There's no Mark brand here. There's a PJ Patterson brand here being demonstrated in front of us. When PJ Patterson was in power, what he did it with such, I don't even know. It just didn't care who it affected, how people viewed it, his responsibility as the prime minister, what were the consequences of it all, and that led to something like FinSec. And I'm saying this to you. We must take much more measure than talk. We must take more than measure than talk. If it means that, well, I wouldn't even go there because it might run me into some legal issue. But I'm saying that if we are going to hold true to our own personal integrity as individuals, talk is over. We cannot have a man like Mr. Panton there who come with such contempt and disdain for Parliament.
That's true.
This man is whole senile and redundant. We must get rid of him by any means necessary. We must remember that this is $1 billion. The IC's paid $1 billion over. And they didn't have the competence within that body.
We're not going to use that term.
To make an assessment of a prime minister of one individual.
Regal, we're not going to use that terminology that belongs to the People's National Party. By any means necessary means everything. And we don't believe in that.
I think we should give Jermaine a chance now. He has been waiting a long time.
Before Jermaine come, can I say something? In a sense, I kind of agree with Shango. This is like the Master British is using PJ's playbook, but this, for those that are not familiar with what happened in the 80s, this is coming straight off the 80s where Michael Manley did a lot of illegal stuff, because even that state of emergency that he called, it was illegal. However, that aside, my concern is how can you investigate the head of the state without, this is not a criminal, without letting him know that you are investigating him. Remember, they asked him questions. He didn't have a lawyer with him, so he thought that they just needed clarification. IRS wanted clarification, and they asked me for clarification. I wasn't being on an investigation, and I just gave them whatever it is that they were unsure of, and they got it, and that was the end of it. The Prime Minister thought that they needed clarification, and he gave them the clarification. You cannot be investigating the head of the state who is not known to be a criminal and not let him know that you have employed somebody outside of the Commonwealth to investigate him. You are putting this person in arm's way. I don't matter how much they screen him, everybody has a price. Is everything for him. His identity can be stolen. That is to begin with. And secondly, you remembered how they tried to protect Portia Simpson Miller? Why was he not afforded the same kind of privilege? Why did somebody, after you have done all that you have done and you did not find anything, it's like, according to Greg Christie, he's not going to honor it until he is satisfied. So it is now not what is expected, not the laws, but your personal thing. If I don't feel like I need to honor it, then I am not going to do it. I mean, I have a problem with all of this. How can you do that? How can he not be afforded everything that everybody else would have been afforded? And then if you try to dissolve it, you're going to hear that the JLP is trying to muzzle them, which is not true. But I would love for this case to go through and that we would have honest persons sitting in high places that are going to be true and not be so and not sell their souls, and then after that he can dissolve. I see it. It's tainted.
No, he can't alone. You have to get the opposition too. So that's where there's gonna be a problem.
We don't have to, because here, as I said before, even notwithstanding they get a forensic investigator to come in, it doesn't really.
Well, they have to. Yes, it says so here.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's an investigation. It can just mean to gather information to start an investigation. And because he didn't get a letter from the IC to say it's being investigated, and that's what a lot of people is getting mixed up, because you get all the information. When you get information and realize that, okay, there's a case here to be answered, then you start an investigation, and then you inform the person that you are under investigation.
Right. So let's give Jermaine a chance, and then we give Forsyth. After Jermaine, then Forsyth can talk.
You can remove me from the box.
You can just close out and come and then rejoin. That's okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you for your input. Go ahead, Jermaine. Open your mic.
He's on pause.
He's sleeping. Okay, we will move to Forsyth until Jermaine is available.
Good night. Are you hearing me?
We are hearing you. Go ahead. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? Come on. I just have a question. What was the reason for them to skip over the FID and engage the services of forensic?
We're asking the same question.
That's what we've been here asking. That's what everybody is asking. You
Right,
you
no,
don't
because
want to
that,
use.
no, but the question can only be answered if we know the terms of reference under which the IC is legally supposed to operate. If we don't know the conditions or the legal condition on which they can operate, then the question is going to hang in the air. Because they can tell you, they can probably come and tell you, that what they are doing is legal based on the contractual terms of reference under which they are supposed to operate as a body.
No.
Shango, remember say, hold on, Alain, hold on. Remember say them in the business of interpreting the law their way now. Remember say them come to parliament, come say, in my opinion, So anything is possible.
No, but exactly,
right
that's the very point I make. Nobody, that's the very point I'm making. But we see once we subject, and I say this again, this is how we know that this is a plot. This is how you see what Pantan came and did in Parliament. For people who can do critical analysis, we know that he shouldn't have a place at the IC. Just barely that. But he's a learned judge. Then automatically supposed to be believed and accepted.
Alain, go ahead and then I'll make a point as per what Valerie said, and then we're going to be left for now.
Renz girl, you have been here for a while. Where are you bed go do?
Yeah, call me Renz. Where you mean we make a bed go do? This a working woman,
Sorry, Arts, we never know. I thought it was Renz girl. Sorry.
All right.
Alain, go.
Okay. As it pertains to the law that governs IC and how them can access a foreign power, it speaks specifically that they have to seek the avenue
Hello?
I think he muted. But in the meantime, until he comes, in the meantime, until Alain comes back, I think he has low internet issues or something is going on. But in the meantime, until he come back, I remember Valerie saying, I don't remember what she was. I think she wanted to know what was the point and all of that. But for me, Val, for me, it is an opportunity they wanted to topple the government, because you notice they're clamoring for an election this year. Notice how everything thing they might try to get the election this year, because next year it's going to be a very successful year for the government. Annual Regional will be open, basically phase open. It will start opening the end of this year, and by the middle of next year,
Right.
maybe up to 50% of it will be open. The Prime
The
Minister,
$40 billion road project.
the $40 billion Spark project is
They were trying
coming.
to force an election before Spark.
45 billion. 45
It's 45?
Yeah, man,
Yes.
45, because they're doing
billion for drain exercise.
the drains and
It's clear. Sorry.
And this, let us make it clear. This is non-highway roads. For those who have those concerned about the Prime Minister just working on highway, 45 billion Spark project have nothing to do with highway, right? Am I correct on that?
It's main roads and parochial roads.
Okay, cool.
right.
Which is
So-
different from the REACH,
Right.
Right.
And it's different
which is
from
a
the
patching road program.
Which is a patching.
It is a $3 billion exercise to alleviate painstaking or give persons access or some amount of road network until the Spark reach.
No, Reach was basically came about because of burial,
Oh, yes.
So that was the thing behind.
The whole matter of the statutory declaration.
So let me just finish and then I can
sorry.
come.
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
okay. Let me just finish, right? So I was just listing the projects that basically go come to fruition next year. Cornwall Regional, you have the buses that are going to come. Remember that they say another 100 buses going to come, I think, at the start of the next financial year, right? You have the Mobile bypass. The Prime Minister just visited and said, hey, that is going to be open by the middle of next year.
I have been reading of the budget.
You have the budget that's coming, and remember that the debt is going to go down into the 60s, so they have more money to spend, the 60%. So they have more money to spend. The Prime Minister just tell me a while ago, say, hey, Donald Sanchez International Airport will be extended. They have a new airport coming in Westmoreland. So right, there's St. Thomas project that's going to be open. There's Boundbrook in Portland. There is so many things. So all that they're doing is try to topple the government, right? And when they do that this year, then they can get an election.
And the lives are going to become harder to sell.
Right. So next year there will be nothing for them to sell, right?
Mark Golding presentation outside of Parliament, he was convinced that he was ready to take Andre to the gallows,
Right, and then
that speech was meant for that.
What the purpose of the IC is to the problem though when the IC is so out of control is that it's going to continue to disrupt,
exactly
the progress.
Exactly, that's why I'm saying that we need to root them out.
Yeah, another thing.
I will add to your point for a site, and then I'll just jump out. Remember that what them say, time longer than rope, right? Remember that they all are on contracts, so it will come to an end.
Yeah, but when will that contract be renewed?
Next year, I think it's 2025.
Okay.
One of them, some of them not have different good night guys, some of them not have different expiry dates.
Yeah, some
maybe months apart based on the hiring date, but all of them should fall in the same line. Most of them.
Next week, right? At the 23rd at the first hearing. What do you think are gonna happen?
Premise, I would leave. He will get leave to go for his kid.
But I don't trust them. I don't trust the jurisdiction.
I don't trust them neither.
I don't trust them. I don't care what you guys want to say. I don't trust them. When you have a jurisdiction come in Jamaica like what they are, based on what Panton say that the oversight committee, and that's what they going to come with, and you don't know how they're going to interpret.
So what are the remedies?
The first thing that I'll look at, put everything else aside, whatever they want to say, the man constitutional right was breached.
Yeah.
If anything else, his constitutional right was breached. And if he doesn't get justice here, he'll get it at
somewhere else. Yeah. You know what I want to say as a person experiencing going overseas, different country to do auditing and these investigation. When those forensic auditors came to Jamaica and they come to immigration, what did they tell the immigration officer? They're on holiday. How much time did they give them to stay in the country? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months?
Don't they need a work permit? They need a permit and stuff like that.
I'm saying to Sue, so who did they go through to get that work permit? That's my argument. And nobody not picking up on these things. It's a protocol that you have to go through.
But shouldn't it be the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
No, is it that because if you're going to get a work permit, it's the Ministry of Labor. And if you see, they have to, there's a standard that you have to go through. Protocol. When you go into a foreign country to work as investigator, the government have to invite you. You have to get a work permit before you can even leave. You cannot just come into a person's country and just work like that and come out. It doesn't happen that way. Companies seek to get your visa, a working visa, not a visitor's visa, a working visa. Who approved?
But they're the ones that's supposed to be asking these questions in a caller.
Corruption in high places. But look here now. Look here.
Say to you.
They were probably weeks through the airport and the friend and company at work. Look here. See what happened with Herb Nelson. See the confession when Meg say from 2018 him get work for audit the Prime Minister on the ear today when Chuck played.
But one of the things I want to pay attention to though,
investigate him.
It is still about a year before an election, right? It's constitutional review, and a lot of these things might come out. Later, one of the things, there are a lot of chess moves that are being played. And one of the things that you have to realize as a chess player is that you don't make all your moves at the same time. So some of these things that we're talking about, maybe it's just, the parties in a wait and see mode before, bringing up some of these things. Because
no, it's not a wait and see, it's straightforward.
No, I mean is that
I think
these are probably serious issues that they can bring up, but they may not want to just bring them up all at once. So they just want probably to
I think the other day
before they start bringing up all of these things as defense. Why?
Yeah, I think the other day, if the Prime Minister never did file the thing with the court, right? Those are some questions that the oversight committee would have to answer. So it looked like they never ever bother getting to those, questions. And them wait for the 23rd. Why? Me I forgot to glued to my TV the 23rd.
Remember the judiciary rule for Parliament that once a case is before the courts, it cannot be discussed in Parliament to avoid prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so certain questions could not have been asked. But based on some of the questions that were asked and the answers that were given, you realize that the Integrity Commission breaks its own law. Or the Integrity Commission operating outside of the law that was given to it.
Winner, say me walk away from that. That whole thing on when was it? Wednesday or Thursday? I walked away from it and I feel different about Kevin Stevens because before me did have him up and basically a customer say him do this and him do that. But you realize how him answer the questions them?
I think Kevin is a fall guy.
Yes.
I said it from day one that Kevin is a fall guy.
Me nah blow my trumpet, but me nah rejoice right about. No, me nah rejoice too soon. But I think he will have a lot to say. And he might go just say it as it is. Because even when I asked him the question, even when he was asked a question about the tabling of the report, I mean, he just
was concise, yeah.
Him know the rules that he operate around. And I don't think he was the man who was pulling any farmer string.
No,
Right. I think it was just given.
Him as a tall guy.
Things were just, and if you work in an organization,
but me not sorry for me, man. The man could come up in parliament and look for sorry for him. Me not sorry for him, sir.
No, me not sorry for him neither, you know. Me not sorry for him neither, but
they forced to see it play out before with anything.
He get a work to do. He get him a work to do, and he just did what he was told to do. And even when like when I say, when they ask him about the tabling of the report, about this whole interim, he never go around the corner. He answered the question straight. He never tried to be rude. He just answered it, and he referred to the act, and him say what him have to say, and he shut up his mouth. When he
even a couple of things too. When I ask him about who's supposed to about the secrecy of the investigation, him said nobody, not even the people them who are being investigated, are supposed to talk about it until it is tabled. That came out of his mouth.
I've been saying that all along. And
Marky British, who are talk about the Prime Minister with name 6 and name that new.
He must resign.
Said this. Marky British is lift up, you know.
Yeah, but he was just deliberately doing that to turn the public against the Prime Minister.
But we know. Another question I would like to ask: does
he's insulting the people's intelligence? You know, that's the kind of campaigning that he's doing.
Yeah, but when I say Kevin Stevens could have all the same position as where Greg Christie and where Pantan all, because
no man, I'm talking about the caller talking about Marky British. Marky British did that deliberately, knowing that the Prime Minister couldn't have come out and say anything. But he's thinking about how the perception that he can create in the minds of the people who are ignorant to that. Right? Yeah. So he's exploiting the ignorance of the people. And his entire campaign is doing that. Just trying to create a public perception, even when him know better. Then go back and laugh after him see him supporters them, you know. Them friends them. When very well can know them to know better, so I must tell them a story.
Foresight, let me tell you, they wanted to do some damage, and they did the damage. You know the damage, what they wanted to do? They wanted to embellish about these 28 accounts, even though them know, so that say, all it is that they investigated 28 accounts, meaning all of the account them when the transaction with over the time period, the investigation, when they're investigating for, they know fully well that on page 32, it lists all of the account them where the Prime Minister have on page 32.
Yeah.
So they wanted to bring up about this account and SSL and the money we get.
Once it becomes a talking point, it sounds bad on the Prime Minister. That's what they want. Even though they themselves know it's nothing. That's the whole idea. Exactly.
Better, this is what they wanted to do.
Smear campaign.
They fabricated all of this. So if they find him guilty, there's only one more person in the country can call an election, you know. Otherwise, from the Prime Minister, you know. So they want to.
A plan.
Huh?
They didn't find him guilty. The report didn't say.
No, this is what they want. They want to find him guilty, so they force the Governor General to call an election. That's what they want.
No, the Governor General. You see, that's why a lot of people get mixed up with the Westminster system. His own party have to come in because he have a 49 majority, right? 49 seats.
No confidence.
And he have to. His own party have to come in and vote for no confidence.
Right.
All right, Ken, I am not cutting you. That is what a councillor told me today. That is what they wanted.
Yeah, that's what they wanted, but this because they wanted
the Prime Minister. If they had charged the Prime Minister, wouldn't the deputy be the person to lead the party?
No, you'd have to dissolve Parliament and call an election.
Yeah, but Plank.
If they are charged,
Remember, you know. Remember said the Prime when the Parliament dissolved, the directive come from the Governor General for call the election. So that's why they may say under the directive of the Governor General.
That's what they're trying to do.
And that is why you know that they're actually getting information from Integrity Commission. Because if you notice the trend, That report was tabled. What the idea was to table it, right? 1 week before the conference. Just notice the timing, right? And that is why they were calling for Parliament to resume, right? To read the report before the conference, because they were so sure that what was in that report was so damning that they could campaign on it, build a momentum into the conference, going into the conference, building that momentum, campaign on it, right? Have the Prime Minister having to step aside because of the charge, and then call an early election. That is why you heard, what his name, Julian Robinson, was talking about having an early election.
The reports are gonna be ready for tabling, and they are gonna be so damning that an early election will have to be called before December.
You know they were talking with the IC. Them don't give for themselves, you know. There's nothing that the IC can say or do now, you know, to redeem themselves, you know.
Can I give you a timeline? Can I give you a timeline? Look at the timeline. Based on the Integrity Commission report on the August 18, 2023, they sent the letter to the Prime Minister. In September, for the first time, Mark Golding, after calling on the PM to name the 6, he asked the question, are you one of them? That's the first instance. Second, in August of this year, 2024, Julian Robinson said the Jamaica Labour Party will be serving its what do you call it now, 8th year in Parliament, and on the 5th of September, no, what 4th of September or 5th, what are those dates? That the Jamaica Labour Party will be serving its 8th year in government, and immediately after that we expect a report in that. If that is the line of argument, I think the wording might be off, but they expect 1 or 2 reports to drop. Then, on the 4th of September, Mr. Campbell is on record to say a report will soon drop, and hours after the report drop.
And that's when
you're like, yo, no.
That's when the guy
right,
Sanjay asked him, say,
effort against the government, though. It's not
that's when Sanjay went ask him, say, if he might get direct information from the IC, you remember?
Yeah.
But you know, your Mark Gordon was campaigning.
Timeline too convenient, brethren.
Pretending as if he asked his members of his party, right, if they ran the investigation. No, and I hear him here. I see my thought on him, I tell him, say, look here, it's member of the JLP party. So he was so satisfied and so convinced that, hey, you know, the illicit on the JLP side. He was so
observer
convinced.
Put a spoke in a wheel, because the observer come out now and say 5 PMP under investigation. 5 PMP to include a senior official who is hiding millions in overseas, whatever. And from that, you know, hear the PMP call. You know, hear the PMP call.
What he did wrong again, he came out and rubbished that report from the observer, saying that it's different from the 5 that is under investigation. Oh, you know that?
How you know that?
He gave himself this again. Oh, you know it's different from that 5.
No, he said it's different from the 8. He said it's different from the 8.
Right, it's different from the 8.
Oh, you know that?
That's under. Oh, you would have know that. It's just trust me. It's a blatant insult. You know.
That's why we don't have no investigative journalists in Jamaica, because they don't pick up on these things and they see what's going on and they keep quiet.
No, it's deliberate, because they have the media on the side. Because I want them to understand this as a concerted effort, you know, to bring down the government, you know.
It is.
It's not just a PNP against JLP, you know. There's a force behind the PNP. Right?
Store. They marinate your meat for you, so it's ready to go when you take it home and want to.
So it's clear to see. And there are a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes.
Well, it's a long road, and I don't.
You know what this election tells me though, because we are now at a make it or break it point. The next election will be so crucial.
consequential election in Jamaica.
Right.
Yes, it is. It is.
Because we need to get it right. We
Consequences,
need to
man.
keep we need to keep the JLP in power, because if, trust me,
Guys, we
they
have
have
to get out there, do the work, and that's why I said to these bloggers, do something, coordinate, have some retreat. If we have to sponsor you guys, everybody come to a little penny here, penny there, and let you guys do a retreat. You coordinate, and we hit the ground. We do what they have to do on the blogging. We do as their supportive unit. We are there, even if we have to spend our money out of our pocket. That's what we have to do. And please, we don't want to go back in the dark days. Please, guys, we have to be.
Well, what I think we need, and I've been saying it to quite a number of bloggers, that we need a coordinated approach whereby, you know, when we create concepts, you just have like all vloggers just, you know, post that concept and get it out there, rather than just posting random things, you know, in the village. So we work collectively as a team and just get information.